Welcome back to the Name Redacted podcast, America's most beloved podcast, the most downloaded Red Sox podcast in the world. And we had to get started on this podcast immediately because we were having a pre-podcast conversation about the Red Sox, and I thought Tyler was going to make a mess in his pants. And I was like, Jake, please hit record because we can't have this happen off the air. We have to have it happen on the podcast. I will say this. I was wrong. Hand
you
up.
were. Hand up.
I
Jake,
was wrong.
while we're sitting here, put your hand up too.
Nope.
Fuck off. Well, my hand sure isn't going up.
Put it this, Jake could have been right. I mean, that first
if Nick
game,
Pivetta could pitch.
it was cold out. I was there. It was fucking cold. It was cold out. So I'm going to give Nick Pivetta a pass for Friday night. But the next two games, this could have been I don't want to say catastrophic. This could have been a really bad, really frustrating series for the Boston Red Sox. Turns out it is another series victory for the Boston Red Sox, who finish the month of April with the winning record. This is for all the people that don't like the positivity horn. This is all, the bit's up. The bit's up. Guess what, you fucking losers? It's not a bit. It's a lifestyle. The positivity horn is going to be riding the wave for the entire 2023 Boston Red Sox season for as long as the Red Sox continue. One more time, Tyler. For as long as the Red Sox keep winning series, they keep winning games. And right now, we are putting the final chapter to bed on April. April's done. Boston Red Sox have played, 9 series? They've won 6 of them, Tyler?
4 out of 5.
4 out of 5. Hey, this is a fucking great time to be a Boston Red Sox fan. They've got a winning record. The Yankees, by the way, this is another thing. And I you've noticed this about me, right? On Twitter, I haven't been picking on the Yankees. I haven't done that.
No, Jared, you've been, I feel like, trying to be respectful of where the Red Sox are. And, we heard all the hype, right? The Yankees, all this pitching, Carlos Rodon, Garrett Cole, Nestor Cortez, look at this Yankees team. And I think out of respect, you went and said, hey, I'm not going to make fun of them. I kind of realize where the Red Sox are. I'm going to take a step back. Yeah. So there's no way, where are the Yankees, Jared? What's their record right now?
They're in last place.
What?
They're a last place franchise. Yes. And I want to say, because in fairness, they're tied. I want to say they're above the Red Sox because of percentage points, but they're tied. They're right now, the New York Yankees. Oh no, the percentage points are the same. Okay. These are 2 15 and 14 franchises right now. They are tied for last place, but the Boston Red Sox have a better run differential than the New York Yankees. So they're the worst of the last place teams.
You mean the Yankees and their fans who laughed at Red Sox fans all winter and called them absolute garbage and that they'd be out of the race? By the end of April, they had no chance. They're the same as the Boston Red Sox, and they played Franchi Cordero on their big league team a majority of April.
He did get demoted, in fairness, but they did try that out. They did. Also, if the Yankees lose their next game by 3 runs or more, they will have a negative run differential in the month of May. So I told you, I read the Reddit. The Section 10 Reddit, which, by the way, I made this point to Tyler. This is his second season with us, but we've been doing this show since 2015, and I think the Reddit probably popped up 2017-ish, around there. This is the most active it's ever been. People are just, there's like fucking 10 threads a day. It's hard to keep up, but we love our fans. We love the listeners, and there was one thread in there since our last recording that was like, why isn't Jared trolling the Yankees? It's all part of the plan. Everything is methodical. Nothing is done without thought and purpose. So I'm not saying I'll never do it again. I'm just saying I'm not doing it right now because I know where we're at and I know where they're at. And unlike some Yankee fans, I have class. I'm not going to kick anyone while they're down. That's not my MO. Then I know where we're at and I know where they're at. But right now we're neck and neck. So
don't go out and try to say, oh, well, the Yankees, look at all our injuries. Hey, look at what the Red Sox are going through right now. Kenley Jansen's walking off the mound yesterday, holding his back. He can barely get to the dugout. We'll hit Whitlock, but Whitlock's down at this point. Yep. There's been Duvall, Story before the season even started. Joely Rodriguez. Red Sox have been going through it too, but hey, they've shown up.
Yeah. And isn't it odd, and I made this point on Twitter probably, I don't know, a week or so ago, that I was like, well, the Red Sox and Yankees are having like very similar seasons, like record wise, but I feel great about my team. And they're just, all the Yankee fans are like, this is the most miserable season of all time. Oh, this team's unwatchable. They're so boring. Oh, I'm not even watch. That's why I have no respect for bandwagon fans like that. The ones that jump off, the ones that jump on, fine. Yeah, come on, join the fun. But the ones that jump off, no respect for those people. And the Yankee fans, there's plenty of those. They are out there saying, I can't even watch this team. I've very much enjoyed watching the Boston Red Sox so far this year. There's been a lot of like kicks in the ball. Like that's the other thing too. I take that back. When the Red Sox have lost, there haven't been a ton of like kicking the dick losses. There's just been a lot of like, man, fucking Brasier again. Like you just like it's losses like that versus like Kenley giving up a fucking grand slam in the ninth inning. It's like, oh fuck. Like that's a kick in the dick because he usually gets a job done. Even the games that the one game that Kenley couldn't get the job done, it wasn't on him. That was on Brasier, and you move on, and you don't put that on Kenley. And everyone felt that way. No one was like, oh, man, here we go, fucking Kenley Jansen. No. So, I very much have enjoyed my viewing experience to start the year with the Red Sox. And it's interesting how two teams can have the same record and two different fan bases can just feel completely differently about their teams.
So I think obviously part of it, and like you said, it's a different aspirations, right? The Yankees think they're World Series contenders. We're looking at the Red Sox and we're saying, hey, let's just compete for a wild card spot. Let's play important baseball in September. But I think the other part of it is how the Red Sox have handled the beginning of the year, who are, the Red Sox are tied for first in comeback wins right now across all of baseball with 10. That's 10 times they've come back and found a way with starting pitching, letting them down and having to figure it out as they went. Tied for first in walk-offs with 3. Verdugo has 2 of them. And we're seeing a team with the Red Sox. Yeah, it's been very up and down. And there's been moments where, you're like, oh, they should have won that game or they could be in a even better spot. But hey, like this Red Sox team has something special to them. They have a fight, a character that core is recognizing, that new leaders in the clubhouse are stepping up and talking about, that's saving careers like Jaren Duran coming out of, nowhere this year and blossoming in front of us and changing the whole idea how we view this team. That's what makes this Red Sox team so exciting right now and so fun to talk about. And I think this is everything you could ask for if we were going to, skip to May 1st and say, like, if everything can go and make us want to talk about this team and not hate the world like we did last year, this is kind of what the picture would look like.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about Jaren Duran on this podcast because I do have some thoughts as it pertains to him. I will say there was a conversation that was had at Fenway Park on Friday between myself and Jaren Duran that may lead to some things. Next
soon?
Month. Very soon.
Oh.
Very soon. Yeah. May lead to some things for the people who listen to this podcast.
Maybe answering some questions he hasn't been asked before, just hasn't had the opportunity to really kind of touch on.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like Jaren is a guy that he's a very interesting cat. He's got a very interesting brain. But I feel like I said this to his agent. I said, I speak Jarren Duran. like it may not always come out the way that he wants it to, but I speak Jarren Duran and I know what he means by certain things. So,
is there anyone in the sports world or at least the baseball world you've met that you can compare him to? That you're like, oh, like talking to Jaren reminds me of this guy?
Ooh, good question. You basically asking me like who's a big dummy, like who's like
whoa.
He's a meathead. Like he is a meathead. We are very similar in where we're just like, I just want to eat steak and lift heavy weights and like I just want to play baseball. Like we think very similarly. When we get hyper focused on something, it's just all we care about. He cares about putting on size, getting stronger, eating fucking 8 meals a day, lifting heavy weights, and then being good at baseball. Whereas I'm just like, oh, I just want to do a good baseball podcast. We kind of live very similar lifestyles. So I get it. Like I get that he has his world that he surrounds himself in, and there's not a ton going on outside of that. So we're going to have a conversation with him at some point. I'm very excited for that. He is, did the White Sox just fucking walk off? Wow.
No.
The White Sox won a baseball game.
Good for them. Snap that 10 gamer.
Wow. Wow. It finally happened. They won a game. Damn,
7 in the 9th?
Yeah.
Wow. Hey, that's another game the Red Sox gain on the Rays, baby.
Yeah. Don't count us out of this division. We're still in it.
Did the Red Sox gain a game on everyone but the Orioles today?
That sounds about right.
Not a bad way to live.
That's crazy. Good for the White Sox. Happy for the White Sox. The weather for this series sucked. I was there Friday night. I was there Saturday. Man, and I wasn't there today, and it looked even worse than the first two games. It was just like, it wasn't raining enough to bring the tarp out or postpone the game or anything like that. It was just fucking miserable all game. Sale was out there in his short sleeves like the goddamn lunatic that he is. And we have plenty to say on Sale. So let's dive into this series here, because the Boston Red Sox won it. And if you bet on them with the DraftKings Sportsbook, you were looking pretty good in this series. Baseball season's in full swing, whether you're rooting for the home team or betting on your favorite player. DraftKings Sportsbook has got you covered for all this season's action. And right now, new customers can place a $5 bet and get $150 in bonus bets instantly. Plus, everyone can hit one out of the park with DraftKings stepped-up same-game parlays. Boost your winnings with each leg you add up to 100%. Join the big league action right now on DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the app and sign up with the promo code Jared, Jared. New customers can bet just $5 on any bet and get $150 in bonus bets instantly. Only at the DraftKings Sportsbook with the promo code Jared. Okay, another series victory for the Boston Red Sox here against the Cleveland Guardians, who, respect to them, good team, but I don't want to say they were limping in, but they're not like having a super impressive year like that. This series against the Red Sox put them into the negatives for run differential on the whole year. They are under 500, but you did see in the series opener, they've got a guy by the name of Shane Bieber who showed up and pitched really well in that series opener against a team that he does not normally pitch well against. He does not pitch well at Fenway Park and has not historically pitched well against the Boston Red Sox, but he went 7 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts, and that'll do. That was enough to put the Red Sox to bed, but you had Nick Pivetta on the other side, and he just had a Nick Pivetta start. That's what they look like. 5 innings, 5 hits, 4 earned runs, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts, and he gave up a homer. If you were to ask me, what is the most likely line for Nick Pivetta against any team? It's not like he pitches better against shitty teams or, he struggles against good teams. Nick Pivetta's lines pretty much any time out. Yeah, it's about 5 innings. You're looking at 4 to 5 runs, maybe a couple walks, and he'll punch some guys out too, but he'll definitely give up at least a homer. That's what he did against the Guardians. And I'll take it. No. I'll take it. The Red Sox offense, more often than not, that's good enough, right? Like,
yeah. So, and they had opportunities 7 through 9. Let's be real. They had a double every inning. I think Duran had 2. Yoshida had 1 of them.
What was Saturday the 3 double game for Duran?
That was Friday.
Yeah, he had 3 doubles. Yeah, he had 3 doubles in that game.
I think my issue with Nick Pivetta, and it's a 5.11 ERA right now, it's a 5.31 FIP, is if you're out here like you were during spring training where you're like going after reporters to tell them like, hey, why the fuck are you not putting me in as one of the 5 rotation members for the Red Sox? Like, I am part of this group. I deserve that respect. You need to pitch better than this, because right now I have a hard time convincing myself that you belong in this 5. When James Paxton went down there in AAA today.
Spare me.
Fuck off, Jared. Let me finish.
Spare me. Finish.
Fuck
Go
off.
Ahead, finish.
Thank
Go
you.
Ahead,
I'm going to finish all over the screen.
Go ahead.
But when James Paxton went out this morning, pitched great. Looked really good.
What was the line?
5 1/3 shutout innings.
Okay. Against
a guy in James Paxton, when he is, at what he is, if we can get the James Paxton of old, he's a better pitcher than Nick Pivetta. That's not a conversation. That is reality. I think for Nick Pivetta right now,
how do we know that? He hasn't pitched in the big leagues in fucking 3 years.
No, we're saying if James Paxton is able to come back, right? If he's able to kind of look like the guy we saw today that actually has some command of his pitches, that isn't getting roughed up like he did the last couple starts, and I think there's a fair chance he's activated after today. I don't know how you're not looking around and saying Nick Pivetta is probably the guy that should be out right now.
Because he gives you a chance to win. And how many guys, and this is not a conversation about like who should be in, who should be out. I'm not going into other guys right now, because we can have that conversation when, it's like James Paxton's ready to go. We don't know that for sure because he's had one good start out of 3. The first one was like a relief appearance, but he was really just, they used an opener and then he pitched like kind of like what Cutter Crawford did. Like he had a start in the middle of the game. So he had that one sucked. And then the second one sucked. And then this one was good. So 2 suck, 1 good. But you look at the 5.11 ERA and you're like, well, that's not great. Look around the rest of the rotation. Like a 5.11 is probably the best we got. Like who's doing better than that?
Tanner Houck. Tanner Houck's been better than that.
All right, yeah, fine. But like Tanner Houck was a guy that you were going to put in the bullpen or whatever. You can make the case that he should still be in the rotation. You can make the case that he'd be better off in the bullpen. Fine. But Nick Pivetta is not like a slide piece. He's not like he could start a few games or he could be good in the bullpen. Yeah, he was good in the bullpen in 2021. He was outstanding against Tampa in that division series. Great. But do we know that he can do that over the course of a 162 game season? Not really. And I value, I know a lot of people don't, I value a guy that can give you 5 innings and give up 4 runs. Fine. Like that's not like it's never going to look stellar with Nick Pivetta. It's never going to look that way. You're never going to be. There was that one start. What was it? 2021 where he started against Jacob deGrom. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Listen, Nick Pivetta's done it for stretches. He did it the first couple months of 2022 where we're sitting here and we're like, is Nick Pivetta an all-star? Yeah. But I think that's where you're sitting here and you're starting to say, all right, that, he's never flipping the page on this. This is what the guy is. He's going to be 4-5-ish, best case scenario. There's a lot of ups and downs, but when you look at this current 5 right now, I don't understand how you look there and say, all right, this guy definitely has proved himself.
Give me your 5 with Garrett Whitlock on the injured list and no Nick Pivetta. What's your 5 look like?
So right now it's Chris Sale, right? Mm-hmm. Chris Sale's showing us what he has. Brian Bello, he's been one of your 5 best starters overall. He was when he got sent down. I still believe he's in that group. Corey Kluber right now has to be in there. He was better. Jared, you can roll your eyes. He was better than Nick Pivetta last year. He was basically the same pitcher.
I didn't say anything.
Same pitcher with better metrics. And, Pivetta hasn't had that 6 innings and 1 run start against the Orioles that, Kluber had. And that's not including just the context where you have to let this guy get starts, right? Mm-hmm. Tanner Houck, who's been your best starter so far this season. Mm-hmm. That's 4. And then James Paxton coming up. The Red Sox have told us they view him as a starter. They tried him in that opener role or following the opener. It didn't work. Clearly, he wasn't clicking. So what happens to Nick Pivetta now? And I think hearing what Chaim Bloom has said, saying, yeah, Tanner is showing us something differently. Now, am I going to be heartbroken if they send Houck to the bullpen? No, I'm not. And maybe this whole Kenley injury could change that conversation overall. But it feels like for a guy in Pivetta who kind of needed to come out and make a statement, the statement really hasn't been there. He's just been Nick Pivetta.
Yeah. So I'm looking at it right now, and Kluber, here are the guys that are averaging at least 5 innings or better per start. Chris Sale is averaging 5 innings per start. Garrett Whitlock, 5 1/3. Thanks, but you're gone. Nick Pivetta is averaging 5 innings per start. Tanner Houck, 5 1/3 innings per start. And these are, that's what, 4 guys?
Yep.
Bayo's only averaging 4 innings per start. And then Kluber is averaging 4 2/3. So.
Yeah, I just think it's hard to look at it right now and say, all right, has Pivetta done anything to show that the curveball he worked on all offseason is going to change life for him? No. And Stats put out a great tweet on this a couple days ago. He's regressing across the board from year to year. Things aren't pointing up for him. They're pointing down. Like he's getting hit harder. The expected batting average, slugging, all these things are all higher. They're not going in the right direction. So it's like, okay, this is who this guy is. It doesn't mean he's not a fine 5th starter. Yeah, that's Nick Pivetta. But he's been very average to below average so far. Like a 5 ERA is a 5 ERA, no matter what way you slice it.
Well, you want to suck Brian Bayo's dick. He's got a 6.57.
But who do you think's a better pitcher, Brian Bello or Nick Pivetta?
So I'll ask you this. Brian Bello has a 10.22 strikeouts per 9. Is that good?
Yeah, Nick Pivetta also has a 10K per 9.
He has a 10.22. The exact same strikeouts per 9.
But Jared, I know you're playing this game right now.
I'm not playing a game.
When it comes to Brian Bello and Nick Pivetta, who do you want getting starts in a year like this?
I'm just
who
saying,
do you think has the higher ceiling?
You said he was the best starter, and I'm comparing him to Nick Pivetta right now.
I said Bello was the best starter?
Yeah.
I think Bello's a better starter. Yeah, I do. And I think long-term anyone would
agree. Has not been better.
Not this year. No, it hasn't been great overall. We've seen him kind of figure it out. But let's be real. 2 of those starts have come in a downfall. First of all, the Angels game. Yesterday, he was pitching through a bad fingernail and now a blister, and he still gave you 5 innings of 1-run ball. And you kind of saw what it was. But I don't think anybody here would say if you had to pick between Brayan Bello and Nick Pivetta getting starts this year, you're taking Nick Pivetta. You're not putting Brayan Bello in the bullpen. You put Nick Pivetta in the bullpen.
Now you're just asking the question: Am I playing this season out for development, or am I playing the season out to maybe win a wild card?
I think both. You go Brayan Bello. I think Brayan Bello is a better starter this year if you keep letting him pitch than Nick.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. So that's a different argument. If you keep letting him pitch at the end of the season, whose numbers will be better? That's a different question. At the end of the year, if they're given the same opportunity to make a start every 5th day, who has the better numbers? I would bet on Brayan Bello. I would.
So that's the conversation. You're answering future and present. You prefer Brayan Bello. If you had to start a game tomorrow to win it, you're picking Brayan Bello. You're not picking Nick Pivetta.
I don't know if it's tomorrow, I don't know that I'm picking Bello.
I'm taking Brayan Bello. I think he checks off both of those reasons. And I saw down in September last year what Bello can do when he really gets going. I need this guy developing at the big league level. I need this guy, trying to push this team forward. We need young pitching. What did we say more often than not? Garrett Whitlock and Brayan Bello were the keys to this team moving forward. Those guys, if this team's going anywhere in 2023, it's because of them. Well, one of them just hit the wall. Whitlock, we don't know what's going to happen with his elbow at this point. Bello, he survived the forearm tightness. He's back, and we just saw his best start while battling all these things.
Yeah.
We know what Nick Pivetta is. You're not going to throw Brayan Bello in the bullpen. So, hey, Pivetta, go kick rocks. Go throw 2 innings out there. And if you put yourself back into it, we'll have that conversation. We
do know what Nick Pivetta is. And I want that in the rotation. I do. Because that's why I mentioned like the innings per start thing. Like I want, and I'm going to pull it up right now because I'm not sure where it ranks currently, but Chris Sale talked about this after his start today about, going out into the 7th inning. Like, yeah, I wish that I could have gotten more than one batter once I got into the 7th inning, but he kind of gave like a nod to the Red Sox bullpen is, we've asked these guys to fucking do a lot. So like I take pride in being able to pitch deep into games. Right now, the Red Sox bullpen has pitched the 4th most innings in Major League Baseball. The Rays, but that feels like by design. Then you have the A's who fucking suck. And then you have the Marlins, and then you have the Red Sox. So like you're not going to see a ton of good teams that are amongst the leaders in bullpen innings pitched. And obviously the best team, that doesn't make a great case for me because the best team has pitched the most bullpen innings, but that's also by design. That's just what they do. Like I don't know if you were watching the other night, but Kevin Cash pulled Shane McClanahan at like 73 pitches and he was cruising. Like that's just what the Rays do. So it's not indicative of how good a staff is because the Rays are just the fucking Rays and they're weirdos and whatever. But I value guys that can give you innings in the rotation. The Red Sox have had the fucking worst rotation in baseball besides the A's. But yeah, it's the Red Sox are going to have to figure out what they're going to do with the rotation. And if it's Pivetta, it's Pivetta, whatever. But for me, and I know that Lou Merloni has talked about this, 5 innings, 4 runs. Give me that.
Sure, but can't Brayan Bello give you that? And you get the best of both worlds?
Yeah, I guess in theory he can, but he statistically hasn't.
This year, but we saw for a month last year down the stretch he could.
Yeah. Well,
this is a way where you check both of these boxes. And I have to pull up stats on my phone here because he has me still blocked on Twitter. So give me a second. But this was what it was. It's like Pivetta's heading in the wrong direction. Barrels per plate appearance. He went from 5.1 in 21 to 6.1 in 22 to 9.1 in 2023. The exit velo has gone up from 89.7 in 2021, 92.9 in 2023. The sweet spot percentage, 33.4% in 2021, 51.5% in 2023. Batting average is up 50 points. Slugging's up over 100 points. Weighted on base average is up 30 points. Hard hit percentage from 40 to 54. Like, it's nice to see him missing bats like he is, but the command hasn't taken a step forward either. And you even go to expected ERA, it's a 5.77. So, like, am I going to sit here and I'm going to, like, act like Nick Pivetta is doing something to, like, excite me? No. I think eventually sometimes the talent rises to a level where, yeah, our floor isn't what our floor once was. Go out to the bullpen and give us something, because right now we'd rather see Tanner Houck and see if he can stick as a starter than watch you and we know what you are.
And that was talking Nick Pivetta. Not going to find another podcast in the world that's doing 20 minutes on Nick Pivetta, but here, it's for the people.
So you're not going to be upset if they tell Pivetta, go chill in the bullpen like you have before?
Not unless I need Bello to pitch like he did when he finally clicked last year. Because
was yesterday not enough?
No, that was great. Yeah, that was fine. The blister thing is a little concerning. I feel like we can't just gloss over that.
That's where the conversation could change a little bit.
That was multiple visits to the mound. Yesterday, 5 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run, couple walks, 6 strikeouts. Gave up a homer. Fine, whatever. Fuck it. That's the Bello that I need. He's capable of being the better Nick Pivetta. I'm going to give you 5 innings, but I'm going to be getting swings and misses. I'm going to be getting balls hit on the ground and whatever.
Bello's telling you, hey, I may be a 5 at my worst, but if I keep getting these starts, I could be your number 2 by the end of the year.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Let's fucking see it.
Nick Pivetta's like, hey, I'll pitch all year, but guess what? I'm going to throw up another 4.5, 4.6 ERA, and we're going to know that, I'm here. I eat innings at the end, but I'm going to give you the bare fucking minimum.
Yeah. I don't know.
I take Cutter Crawford over Nick Pivetta right now, but I think, you need to stop jerking these guys back and forth here.
I agree.
But how can you go here and say that you want Cutter Crawford when Bello has a higher ceiling?
Well, because Cutter Crawford has been, anytime that you've called upon Cutter Crawford, he's just delivered. Has Cutter Crawford as a reliever or a starter had an appearance where you're like, well, that was a stinker?
This season?
This season.
That first start. And I like Cutter Crawford.
What did he do? I can't remember.
He shit the bed against Cleveland. Or not against Cleveland, against Pittsburgh. Remember that he gave up 7 runs?
Oh, yeah. But
he's been excellent outside of that.
Pirates year. It's the Pirates year. I don't even.
I like Cutter Crawford, but that's my thing. It's we know what you are, Nick Pivetta. We need to let some of these younger arms get an opportunity here.
He's not going to take that very well.
No, but sorry, if you're going to bitch when you have a 5.11 ERA, go kick rocks. I'm sorry. If you had a 3, I'd be like, all right. Or if you were even Tanner Houck, I'd be like, I get it. But you haven't done anything here to, change anyone's view of you. You're not showing me that your new curveball's changing life for you. If anything, like those expected stats I read, you're going in the wrong direction, not the right one.
Yeah. Yeah.
You could say Tanner Houck's added 2 pitches, or, he's throwing the cutter 15% of the time, didn't have that pitch at all last year, and he's doubled his splitter usage.
Are you ever gonna go to a game with me or no?
Yes, I want to.
You say yeah. Even Jake knows. Yeah.
What? Fuck you, Jake. What does Jake have to say?
No,
I saw that head shake.
No, you will not fuck Jake. No, because I've invited you to games, and you just said, yeah, no, I'll go. I'd like to.
I need to know in advance. I need time to work the schedule. I know, and I'm not blaming you. That's on me.
It's not how this works. You're like a firefighter. You got to be ready to slide down the pole.
What day upset you the most? What day did you vision was would have been perfect for, a Tyler, Jared, and Jake date?
What series was that, Jake, that we had the dugout seats?
Ooh.
That was the Orioles' first series of the year.
Oh,
Duvall walk-off.
Oh, the Duvall walk-off home run? Was that what it was?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think we would have had a good time at that game. Yeah. I think if you pick the most exciting game of the season, that would probably have been a good time. Yeah.
I agree. It would have been a lot of fun, but it's not that I don't want to. It's just every single day is so boxed out right now based on the podcast.
Oh, you're busy?
Days.
You're busy?
Just like you. Yeah, but you
I'm
are
at the games.
Yes, right. You are, and you were a grinder, Jared Karavis. No one works harder than Jared Karavis. Let me tell you.
That's right.
But through the week,
first pitch at Linfield Little League on Saturday morning.
I commented. Did you see my?
After? Did you? Yeah, I saw
a little goat.
Yeah, I saw that.
I pay my respects to the tribal chief.
I saw that.
But during the week, right? I have baseball hour on Fridays.
Yep.
I do have that as part of my schedule. We usually have a podcast each week.
See, I didn't know that because I'm usually at the game. I didn't know that you were doing baseball hour on Fridays.
It's okay. That's just part of it, right?
Yeah.
I have my girlfriend that I need to figure out time for us. She gets a day during the week and she gets a day during the weekend. See, I think this is something we disconnect on because you're like, listen, I gave up my love life for the game.
Yes. Do you guys don't live together?
Me and Martha, no.
Okay. So if I got you an apartment so that you could move in together, would that be enough fucking time for you to hang out during the week so that you can go to games with me on the weekend or no?
That would probably fulfill her, her what's the word? Requirements.
Her Tyler fucking now I'm blanking on the word.
Requirements?
That works, but that's not
her
the word
needs.
I'm thinking of. Yeah, her needs, her wants and her needs.
Her fillings of Tyler.
Yeah. What?
What?
Suck on it.
No, don't. Alex,
that kind of works there too.
Come on. Don't do that.
Sorry.
Don't do that. I'm
Love you,
blaming
babe.
Alex. No. All right. So you guys, yeah. All right. I'll get you guys an apartment and then you can
Okay.
move in together and then you can stop complaining about not having enough time to spend with your girlfriend because you'll literally be in each other's faces all the time.
The good thing, if I can know, and I know it doesn't work this way, but when I have like a week or two in advance, I can be like, hey, honey, let's move these days around and we can make everyone happy here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't often know.
It's not your
I'm
fault.
Getting those seats. Like sometimes I'm already there. It's like sometimes I'm at the game and then it'll be like, hey, you want the dugout seats tonight? I'll be like, yeah. And then there you go.
I'm also coming from Brockton. That's also another part of this
Yeah,
equation.
you
here.
live in like Alaska. All right, we got to take a break and talk about Zyn nicotine pouches. We're always talking about what a team needs to get to number one, but Zyn nicotine pouches are already there. Zyn has helped millions of people achieve a lasting change, earning the title of America's number one nicotine pouch. If you're a smoker or you're a dipper looking to make a change, look no further than Zyn. Zyn is made with 6 simple ingredients and is available in a wide range of varieties, including spearmint, citrus, and even coffee. And it's available in 2 strengths so you can control your nicotine satisfaction. Because it's discreet, you can enjoy it anywhere, anytime, so you never have to miss a moment of the game. Plus, every can of Zyn earns you points towards premium items like tailgating gear, top-of-the-line tech, Zyn swag, even gift cards. Find your Zyn at your local convenience store or online at Zyn.com. That's Zyn, ZYN.com. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
Oh, also, quick side note, the people who were talking about pizza in the subreddit, I was talking about Stella's, even though they haven't given me the bag. I do want to make that clear. So validate my pizza opinion. Do not take that away from me.
Okay.
It's been bothering me for days. I'm sorry.
Yes. Section 10 Reddit's been on one recently. I love it. I mean, whether it's good stuff, bad stuff, I just love that people are engaging.
They make me feel more part of a community than I've ever felt like in my life. So I really do appreciate everyone there. Good and bad. Like you said,
Good
that
and
talks
bad.
about the pod.
Yeah, I mean, I saw they were like, "Why hasn't Jared been tweeting?" I was like, "I definitely haven't been." And I brought that up to my mom. I was like, "Have I not been tweeting a lot this weekend?" She's like, "Yeah, you haven't been tweeting as much." And I was like, "Oh, I don't know. I guess I haven't noticed." Because usually, like, I still try to keep up with the highlights around the league, even if I'm at the game. But if I'm at the game, it's a little bit harder because I'm not sitting there in front of my 9 TVs watching. But I do get like the updates and I'll try and tweet out as much as I can. But someone said I didn't tweet the gold bottles. I've never in my life not tweeted out the gold bottles since I started it in 2014. That's never happened. I've never. There was one time. What was it? What year did it come out?
Long 2018?
2017. Yes. Okay. So the first It came out and my family, we love horror movies and It was like a big one. So we went to go see It as a family together. And I was watching, like I was wearing a hoodie and I put the game on with no volume and I would just like slide it out every now and then, like every 2 seconds to like watch what was happening. So, and I still tweeted out the gold bottle suite and I was watching It in 2017. That was a first place team. You got to be on top of things. Like there's never been a game. There was one night, Dan O'Mara, who used to do the Starting 9 social.
I remember this.
Yeah. So like Starting 9 was a digital show in addition to being a podcast. And he's the only person ever that I've allowed to send out the gold bottles tweet besides me. Actually, no, I lied. There'll be sometimes where like I'll draft it out and I'll be at a game and like someone that like loves the podcast will come out and I'll let them hit the tweet button. I'll be like, yeah, you want to send out the gold bottle tweet? And like I'll let people like hit the tweet button. But we were on the starting 9 show. Like I'm on camera and it's live. And it was 2 outs. Red Sox are winning. And there was like a ground ball to short. And fucking ground ball goes to whoever, it was probably Bogey. And he fucking hits send. And then Bogey skips the throw. And I was like, fucking Dan, you can't do that. That's the only time it ever went out prematurely. It's never not gone out, but that was the only time that it went out prematurely. And it was because I trusted Dan to do it. He brings it up all the time. I'm sure he feels terrible about it, but that was the only time.
Shout out Dan, Curry College.
Yeah, he is Curry College guy.
I will say, as someone who now does like end of game recap tweets, I don't know if you've gone through this, but so yesterday I start typing it up. I'm like, I need a little time because I'm going to cut the last highlight. I want to have it written so it can go up immediately because every second counts. You know, you want to get the most clout you can from these tweets. I wrote out the whole Red Sox won, Kenley Jansen slams the door shut. Is that a bad jinx? Like when you start to write that out? Because I feel like every time I do, something bad happens.
No, I always start drafting the gold bottles tweet in like the 8th, and I'll like forecast like what I think is going to happen so that it's there. And if it doesn't happen, I can just change it. Like the Saturday game, I had like another save for Kenley as part of it. And then you got to take that out. Or like, I'll do like, you know, this guy had a home run, the great start for this person, RBI for this person, couple knocks for this guy. And then like the game will change. So it's like, all right, game tying RBI for Arroyo in the 10th and a walk-off for blank. And then like, I have to fill in the blank. Assuming the Red Sox are going to walk it off because you want it to be ready to go. Yeah, there's no such thing. People would be upset if like the Red Sox lost and I had the gold bottles tweet drafted out and I had to delete it. Like that's happened plenty of times, but they don't know that I've drafted it out. And there's been a million times that I've drafted it out before a game has ended, and it's fine. You just punch in the details and you hit send.
You know what's even worse that I did? When Bernardino gave up the run in the top of the 10th, I wrote a lost tweet out as well. And I wrote it out. I was like, you know, Ryan Brasier, I hate you. I'm going to fire you into the fucking sun for the rest of the eternity. And I wrote that out and then they walked it off. So I felt like I committed one sin, then committed another. And if you put, you know, 2 wrongs, they make a right. And that's basically what happened.
I think I included Brasier in the gold bottle tweet on Saturday. I think I said something like Brasier made Kenley blow the game or something like that.
Horrendous.
It was horrendous. And we can talk about that because like let me pull up Ryan Brazier's game log. Like
it's really bad.
It's got to be very stinky.
I think it's 14 runs and like 14 innings with 13 earned or something.
That can't be good. All right. So he's already appeared in 14 games this year. What was the
They're trying to blow the elbow out.
The low leverage relief has been concerning.
He said, I am concerned. They're like, are you worried? Yes.
Yes, I am. I mean, you know what's not concerning though? So he's appeared in 14 games. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9 of them have been scoreless. I'm not.
Nope. Don't start this shit.
No. 14 appearances, 9 of them scoreless though, Tyler.
When you look at the stat line, what's the biggest thing besides, you know, the absolute shit ERA?
You know, fucking 4.72 FIP. His FIP is half of what his ERA is.
Oh, good for him. You know, the K/9's down to 7.7. But what's the worst of it?
He's only given up 1 home run.
Oh, you want a cookie, Ryan Brasier? You want a cookie? After you made poor Kenley Jansen have to go out there after he had back tightness because you couldn't keep a game.
Tyler Milliken, if I told you the month of April has concluded, the Red Sox used Ryan Brasier in 14 games, He faced 66 batters and only gave up 1 home run. Are you sitting there telling me that you want to fire him into the sun if I told you that? And
I would think the Red Sox are 0-29. That's what I would think.
But he only gave up 1 home run.
Congrats.
Well, he's not getting hit hard.
He's walking 5.1 per 9 when the only thing they could claim is the reason they kept you around besides a nice September was the fact that you threw strikes and now you no longer do that.
Yeah.
Sorry, there's no reason for you to be here.
Sorry, he's given up 8 walks in 14 innings, 15 hits in 14 innings, and he's given up 14 runs in 14 innings, 13 of them earned. And I will say this about Ryan Brasier. The Red Sox are 7-7 in games that he's appeared in. That could have been, no one would have guessed that they were 500 in games that he's appeared in.
Feels very lucky. I'm looking at the Baseball Savant page. There's nothing here.
There's not a single glimpse of red.
There is a little red. Now, this one's a little surprising. 92nd percentile barrel percentage. I didn't expect that. Fastball velo is 75. Fastball spin 66. Good extension 83. Everything else is horrendous. 16th percentile average exit velocity. 9th percentile hard hit percentage. 7th percentile expected batting average. K percentage 23rd percentile. It's bad. It's bad across the board.
So would you sit there and tell me that my boy Caleb Ort died for nothing? Would you say that?
I will say the reason why, and I do think Caleb Ort's better than Ryan Brasier, but reason Caleb Ort gets optioned is because they don't have to lose anyone.
Yeah.
That's it.
He gets optioned because he has him. Ryan Brasier.
Caleb Ort blows too. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, spare me. By the way, I have some devastating news that I need to share with you.
What is it?
When I was at Fenway on Friday with Jake, we spent, what would you say, Jake? Probably like 3 hours in the dugout?
Yeah, good 3 hours.
Good 3 hours in the dugout.
So 3 hours?
You see a lot of things. You hear a lot of things. You see a lot of things. You know what I saw?
Who said Caleb Ort blows? Who said it?
You know what I saw, Tyler?
What?
I saw Caleb Ort very, very close, buddy, walking around with Josh Winkowski. They're like best friends.
Yeah, because Caleb Ort's like, I could learn something from this guy.
Well, the way that I interpreted it is Josh Winkowski now going to be sad because his best friend got demoted, and you did this.
I did this?
Yes. It was you, Tyler. It was your campaigning on Twitter that got Caleb Ort demoted, and you didn't even realize that your anti-Ort campaign may directly impact Josh Winkowski's performance the rest of the way.
I'm not even slightly worried. No, I didn't, because you know why? Because what Caleb Ort had to do in fucking Baltimore to absolutely blow that game, force Kenley in. Who knows? Maybe that could have been part of the back spasms.
The game.
After he gave up a grand slam and a homer before that.
Everyone gives up grand slams.
Alex Cora was so disgusted that was his final straw for Caleb Ort. He goes, yeah, we're good, man. Like, when you talk about being concerned with low leverage innings and you had to force Kenley into a game like that, who knows what triggered Kenley's back spasms? Maybe it was having to hurry up. When you thought you had the night off and now you're like, oh shit, this guy's about to blow the game for us. Could have led to you getting swept in Baltimore. Put you on the verge of that. Because Caleb Ort could not get the simple job done.
You're
all season.
Caleb Ort it blinds you. It blinds you from being able to look at things critically.
Caleb Ort has not been doing many things well. He had a nice little stretch where he was okay. He's not number one in Stuff Plus on the Red Sox anymore. I know that was. Who do you think?
Kenley?
Yeah, it's Kenley Jansen.
Yeah, it's Kenley.
Oh, yeah, that's what I sound like. Oh, it's Caleb Ort. Caleb Ort's fucking 100. It's so fucking cool. I've never seen a pitcher throw 100 before. Oh, my fucking God.
He's the first one. Did you see what Dave Bush had to say about Caleb Ort?
Yeah, he said we like the stuff, but learn how to fucking throw strikes.
Yeah, he's saying, this guy throws 100. That's basically what he said.
Yeah, the stuff's good. Guess what? Throw strikes. How about you have, more than two red circles on your Baseball Savant page? And of course, it's with the fastball, 85th percentile. We're not acting like it's 100. He's not at the top of the league.
That's the Red Sox mistake, is they clearly couldn't see that he was saving the hundos for when they really needed him.
Oh, yeah. Why would the Red Sox want him to throw 100? He can't spot it when it's 94 to 96. So why the fuck is he going to turn it up to 100? He may not even hit the catcher.
I saw a great tweet today. I was laughing. I was in the Starbucks drive-thru, just waiting to get up there to order my coffee, and started giggling in my car because I had responded to I think it was who had it was someone, was it Chris Smith had it from Mass Live? I think so.
When Orc got yes.
It was Chris Smith. And I was like, I just responded to it. I was like, yeah, guy throws 100. And someone, because the whole sentiment was like, yeah, that's great, but you can't locate it. And someone tweeted me and they were like, dude, you throw 100, like it's gonna be wild. Like it is what it is. When you throw 100, it's very hard to spot it. Ask Pat Light. We have an expert, or we used to. That guy couldn't throw a strike to save his life.
What happened to him?
He's a fucking business guy now.
What is Caleb Ork going to be doing? He's going to be working at Brandon Workman's fucking real estate agency.
Oh, why is Brandon Workman catching strays?
I love Brandon Workman, but Brandon Workman
you just called him a useless piece of shit.
Whoa, we are not going to start this. No, I did not.
Yes, you did.
Brandon Workman, hire me. I'll become a real estate agent. I'll prove it to you. But Caleb Ort, he's a quadruple A reliever. He's an up and down guy. That's what he is. He can get hot for a little bit, but eventually it all kind of implodes on him. You want the guy to throw strikes. He's never going to throw strikes consistently.
Okay. You've made your point loud and clear. I disagree with you, but we don't need to spend more time on it because all the fucking whiny ass people that are like, they spend too much time talking about Caleb Ort.
This is a baseball podcast, baby. What do they want?
Yeah, it's a Red Sox podcast. What team does Caleb Ort play for? Don't answer that because you're going to say the WooSox.
Hey, same team as your guy Bobby Delbeck, right?
Oh, my God.
Maybe we could take a trip and go see them together.
I would do that. Don't joke. Don't joke because I'll go.
Maybe that will be the first game we go to together as my payback to you. Yeah.
I've never been there. I want to go.
I haven't either.
Every time I say this on the podcast, I'll get like 30 people from the WooSox being like, let's get you down here. It'll be great. They're so accommodating. They're the nicest fucking people. And I still have just never been like, all right, let's pick a day. It's on me. It's not them. It's definitely me. I'm just like, yeah, I'd love to. And then the conversation never progresses. I literally need someone from the WooSox to reach out and be like, Jared, I need you to focus give me 10 minutes of your time. Just 10 minutes. And I'll be like, okay, what do we got? All right, this day, the Red Sox are off. The WooSox are home. Let's do it. And I'll be like, done. Jake, book it. Jake, book the WooSox. Let's get him on the podcast. Let's figure this out on the podcast.
I can confirm this because even someone reached out to me when I tweeted that to you on Twitter yesterday and was like, hey, I got the hookup for WooSox tickets. Can we make this happen?
Let's go, dude. Let's go.
I'm down. I want to go to Polar Park.
Have you been?
Never.
Me neither. Jake, have you been?
No, I've never been.
Let's go.
Let's go watch Caleb Ort in his environment where he belongs.
That's gonna be part of it though. Like I'm gonna say, can you guarantee that Caleb Ort gets brought into the game? Because if he doesn't pitch, then we're gonna have to come back, and it's like I don't even know how long that drive is.
About an hour. For me.
I mean, I'm gonna put it in my GPS right now. Polar.
I don't understand the whole West thing in the state and like what's West or what's not or where the border is.
I hear nothing but great things about Polar Park.
Worcester is poor man's Brockton.
Polar Park is an hour and 3 minutes, but it's also 6:15 p.m. I don't know if that's like because of all the traffic. It probably is. It's got to be closer than that. All right, we're going.
See you soon, Caleb.
And Bob. By the way, we forgot when we were talking about Kike Hernandez being plan E, we went through all the shortstop options and we left off Bob Stop.
Yeah, because he's not even our actual shortstop option. They only played him there because there was an injury to Yoshida that day.
Oh, spare me.
The only reason they played him was because Yoshida went down day of game.
Yoshida doesn't play shortstop, dude. I don't know if you know that.
Oh, so they had to shift positions around.
Dude.
1 + 1 = 2, Jared. You can do this. Bob Stop. Support. Hashtag quadruple A.
You're lucky that I'm not a big dummy like you because I don't root against your favorite players. I want the Red Sox to do well. Unlike you just want to be right. I want the Red Sox to do well, so I would never root against Josh Winkowski. I've always supported that guy.
All I know is I want the players that I think are good to be on the team, because if I think they're good, I would hope that they perform on the team.
Okay. You think Ryan Brazier's good?
No, fire him into the fucking sun.
When is that coming?
So it's a little weird right now. We did get a small update on Joely Rodriguez, right?
Mhm.
He's going to be starting his rehab assignment this upcoming week. Maybe could be an affiliate by the end. So call it a Florida complex game or, extended spring training game and then to an affiliate. But now that Bernardino has been up here, he's going to be kicked to the can.
Buttafuoco. Say the fucking guy's name right.
Buttafuoco. Buttafuoco.
You got a beer shower.
I did read that. I did see that. That's nice. He's thrown well. Props to him. He's been fine.
Yeah, we love Buttafuoco.
Nice up and down guy. Someone you can fit in and say you need him for a couple, games, whatever, you'll get by. But now his spot will belong to Joely. They're not going to kick Richard Blyer to the curb. So it's more
Richard
about
Blyer. Did I already make the substitute teacher comparison for Richard Blyer?
I don't think so. No.
Richard Blyer looks like, and we've all been there, whether it was elementary school, middle school, or high school. We all see the substitute teacher come in, and immediately by the look on their face, just what they look like, you know that this is going to be a fun substitute teacher that's like, hey, put your books away. We're going to put on the TV. We're going to watch Jerry Springer. We're going to take out the trash can and you guys can shoot paper into it. It'll be fun. Or the one that looks like Richard Blyer, which is oh, you thought the substitute teacher that makes you wish that your actual teacher was still there. They make you fucking, because they don't want to do shit because they're not a real teacher. So yeah, take your books out. We're going to read 20 pages just so that you guys shut the fuck up. They're probably hungover. And they're yeah, you guys are going to read 20 pages out of your textbooks today and no one's going to talk. And if I see anyone asked to go to the bathroom, I'm going to punch you in the face. That's what.
If you do talk, I'm writing your name on the note to the teacher.
Yep. That's just what his face looks like. I don't know him. Never had a conversation with him. He could be a really nice guy. I'm just saying that's what his face looks like. He looks like the substitute teacher that makes you wish that your actual teacher was not out sick that day.
I think that's how I kind of feel whenever I see him enter a spot that Joely Rodriguez was supposed to pitch in. That's the feeling I get. But I don't think it's about Joely anymore. I think he'll take Bernardino's spot. So it's Garrett Whitlock. Garrett Whitlock probably bought Brasier a little bit more time, if we're being honest.
That's on you, dude.
What do you mean that's on me?
That's on you.
You're blaming me for Garrett Whitlock getting hurt?
Yes.
Whoa, that's a serious allegation out of your mouth right now.
It's based in fact.
Tell me, explain it to me.
Let me ask you a question.
Yep.
Do you think that I'm not saying what my opinion is. I'm just asking you what your opinion is first. Do you think Garrett Whitlock would be hurt if he started the season in the bullpen?
I'm not sure. I'll be honest. And this isn't me fucking around. This isn't me trying to avoid blame, because I'll be completely upfront about it. I don't know if it was caused from him being a starter. Now, Whitlock got hurt at the end of 2021 in the bullpen. We remember that's what opened the door for Ryan Brazier's ridiculous week.
Was that the pec?
Pec strain. Now, last year, the hip, we really don't know exactly when it happened. It was kind of something that just went along, and then they shifted him to the bullpen to protect him. And then this year, it's the elbow starts barking. When did it start barking? After that Angels start. So it's all right, the game he's worked the farthest in, something started barking at him. That worries me. I'm a little bit concerned on that. And I'm also not happy that the Red Sox knew that he was dealing with this and let him go pitch in Milwaukee. He should have been shut down immediately. I don't know why you're playing games with a guy who's already had one Tommy John surgery before, but they felt the need to do that for whatever reason. But I think it's pretty fair to say at this point, Whitlock has an extensive injury history. Over the last couple seasons in Boston, he hasn't been durable overall. That equals into a conversation about whether a guy should be a starter. Now, it equals even more when you talk about what kind of starter you want Garrett Whitlock to be. He's not a 5 and dive guy. So this is someone you want to eat innings. You want to be a number 3, someone who can be like Rick Porcello, have that rubber elbow, give me 105 pitches, call it 7 innings, 3 runs, 6 innings, 2 runs, 6 innings, 3 runs. Just eat innings and be very solid and dependable. Well, it's kind of scary when the first time he really does that for you, something starts barking on him. makes me nervous. I think even the most big Garrett Whitlock fans have to say, all right, this is at least a serious orange flag for you. I know some people who are the Whitlock starter crew are like, no, like you can't pin this on the guy on this at all. We don't know. How do you know? We don't know how his body could respond to this. We don't know what the elbow is like after one Tommy John. Jeff Passan said it as well as anyone in a recent article about the uptick in injuries. The greatest predictor for pitcher injuries is injury history. This guy has blown his elbow out once. Now, the other side of the coin is he started all the way through the minors. This is who that guy was. They didn't move him to the bullpen because they didn't believe he could start. They moved him to the bullpen because he was coming off Tommy John, and the Red Sox didn't have it. They had plenty of starting options at that point. It was, all right, let's let this guy kind of build up. We fell in love with Garrett Whitlock because he tossed 3 or 4 innings out of the pen. That's where we all fell in love with him. It wasn't as a shutdown 9th inning guy or anything like that. Not in the slightest. And that's what he continued to build off. It's just, yeah, this is a flag. Does it make me say Garrett Whitlock shouldn't get any more opportunities in the rotation? No. I need to see how he responds to this whole situation. That's a big thing in the coming days. But yeah, it's scary. How can you not say it's scary? You're just being dishonest if that's the case.
You know who this is starting to remind me of?
Who?
Joba Chamberlain.
It's an interesting comp.
Yeah. I just thought of that. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I haven't seen anyone else make that comp. But if you look back on Joba's career and how the Yankees used him, wouldn't you say that there are some similarities there?
Yeah, it's another case of a team trying to convert a dominant reliever into a starter and getting, those back end results, not the front end or even mid rotation results you were hoping for. And a pretty quick burnout overall, if we're being 100% honest. Now, at the same time, like when I look at Garrett Whitlock and I kind of, say some of these things and I'm like, well, these are flags, these are scary. Like, what do you kind of take away from all of this? It's like, you look at what he's done so far in the big leagues as a starter. 8 of his 12 career starts, he's allowed 2 runs or fewer, earned runs or fewer. So like there's been something there. We just saw what he could be capable of. Do I know if his body can handle it? I don't. There's a reason why. And, Cora made the point after the game saying, well, if he was pitching every 2 or 3 days, isn't that risky? Sure. But there's a reason why when starters, a lot of the times, like a Brent Honeywell or whoever it may be, start to have injuries, they get shifted to the bullpen. It's a different workload. At the end of the day, 170 innings and, a season period is different than 70 or 80. Different up and down. I understand different stress and all these things, but all I know is I haven't shifted my opinion on Garrett Whitlock. Did this put like a coin on the other side of it for me to make me rethink things and be nervous? Yeah, it did. And that's just me being honest and reading the situation. Maybe it's not as bad as I took it. When I read it, I was like beside myself. I'm like, this reads exactly like what Jeffrey Springs said 2 days before we found out he needed Tommy John. Ulnar neuritis, the numbness, the weird kind of tingling he's feeling on his fingers. And this would be Whitlock's second TJ. This is like, we're not talking about first time. This is a second one. That puts him in a very, short list of guys who have come back and still been effective pitchers at this level. So like, you're playing a very dangerous game if that's why it's barking. And you start to look at, was he pushing more because he wasn't missing bats? Is that what it was? Like he's worried that the velocity's dropping late in starts. He feels like, oh, well, I don't have that 97, 98 in my back pocket. So in order to sustain my velocity, I'm pushing myself to do that. I don't know. I don't have a large enough sample size to make that judgment. But yeah, those are red flags. Those are things you got to look at and say, they make me nervous. That's, those are reasons to the other side of the discussion.
I agree.
And that's me being honest. I don't know if people expected me to come on here and be like, oh, it has nothing to do with it. I don't know. I have no clue. But all I know is they want him to be a workhorse. The fact that his elbow's barking, April 28th, whatever day it was, not great. It's not a great place to be. Also, though, do I say go shift him to the bullpen? Do I really want to make him what he's built up for all year long and now shift him to another role? The Red Sox already jerked him back and forth last year.
Mm-hmm.
You're just entering this very gray area where the wrong decision could have, it could cost Bloom his biggest fish.
I don't know that I'm calling Garrett Whitlock Chaim Bloom's biggest fish right now. I think the biggest fish would have to be Masataka Yoshida because of the financial investment.
I mean his biggest win. What's been the signature Chaim
Yoshida
Bloom
could be
move?
his biggest win. Honestly,
Sure.
Alex Verdugo, and that's another thing. We haven't even mentioned his name yet, but Alex Verdugo could end up being Chaim Bloom's biggest fish because the book isn't closed on what Garrett Whitlock is and what he's going to be and what his Red Sox tenure looks like. But I'm just going to say it. I don't think that we're ever going to see the relief pitcher that he was in 2021. I don't think that we're going to see that again.
Even if he went back?
No, because I think you can't just. That's why I literally just texted Joba. I was like, hey, we're talking about Garrett Whitlock going back and forth. Can you hop on to talk about your experience? So I'm gonna see if he can just literally hop on right now. But I think that there are similarities there. Joba was never what he was when he first he was electric when he first came up as a reliever. Then they put him in the fucking rotation. Then they brought him back and then he got the fucking surgery. He was never what he was. He came out and was let's see, 20. He first came up when he was 21 years old, 24 innings, 34 strikeouts, and an 0.38 ERA. And then they were like, this is sick. Let's put him in the fucking rotation. I mean, but his second year, he started games and he also pitched out of the bullpen. Then his third year in the big leagues, the year that they won the World Series, he was a starter. He only pitched one game out of the bullpen. He hit 12 guys that year to lead the league, and his ERA was 4.75. And then the next year, he went back to being a reliever full time, a 4.40 ERA, 3 WHIP, 77 strikeouts and 71 2/3. That's not 12.8 strikeouts per ninth and 9.7. That. I'm just saying, that's kind of what this looks like.
Where it's where I push back
dominant elite reliever, put in the fucking rotation, very pedestrian to mediocre, then put back and okay, we fucked up, but we're going to put him back in the bullpen. Not as electric, not as dominant as he was the first time that you saw it.
But we've gotten a peek of that already, didn't we? When he went back last year, and he was pitching through an injury at that time, and he was still very good. He was still very good, Garrett Whitlock. So
we don't know.
We don't know, but I do think there is a history there showing if I go back to that role, I can still be that guy. But what will be the role at that point? Is it a 1-inning guy? Is it a 2-inning guy? You're not going to expect him to go do what Cutter did, are you? Because then what's the point? Then you're playing the same game that you're playing with him in the rotation. It's just coming in later. I just don't think you have enough of a sample size. And Cora said it. We still view him as a starter. Now, if he has to miss, if it's 2 starts like they said, all right, well, whatever, then we have that convo. What if it turns out to be a month? What if it turns out to be 2 months and he just needs legit shutdown time where he needs a breather? Maybe that convo changes as more guys emerge as, who knows? Maybe Bello cements himself. Maybe Houck cements themselves. Cutter maybe gets an opportunity. I don't know. Things could change. And maybe they look at it differently. But it doesn't seem like the Red Sox have changed their outlook on it a ton. We see why they view him as a long-term piece as a starter because of his contract and the potential of having that kind of controllable starter that we're looking like the Astros have been able to build the World Series team around. And there's a guy on that Astros team we look at, Christian Javier, who did something very similar to Whitlock, made the transition last year. Major reason they won the World Series, has a 3.48 ERA through 6 starts this year. So it's there's 2 ways this road goes. I think Whitlock can go back to the bullpen. We've already seen it. It's just, is the injury, what do they look as the injury, to blame for? Is it because he was pushing too hard in between starts to figure something out? Is it working deep into games? Is it because of the velocity and he's trying to maintain and he just can't do it over that kind of stretch? None of us know. Like, we're throwing darts at the wall, whatever assumption you're making here.
Yeah. It's true. And I don't think that like we'll ever know, really, because like Garrett Whitlock does not seem like the type of guy that's going to just like put that on the table.
And he wants to start.
Yeah, he's not the type of guy that's going to be like, yeah, man, I'm used to coming out of the bullpen, throwing 97, and I'm starting games 93, 94, and like I'm trying to like, get the juice back in the gun a little bit, and I strained it. I shouldn't have done that. I should have worked with different velocity, being able to comfortable working at a lower velocity. I don't think that we're ever going to get that from him. And that's fine. Like, I'm not saying like we deserve that or that he owes that to us, but I'm just talking about pure curiosity of why did this happen? Why does it keep happening? Because I think the important detail that you mentioned earlier is that he got hurt as a reliever in 21. Like, that's a very important detail, because there are going to be fans with their pitchforks out that are like, see, Daniel Bad all over again. You put him in the fucking rotation and you fucking broke Garrett Whitlock. Why the fuck would you do that? Well, you go back to when he was an elite, dominant, shutdown reliever. He got hurt doing that too. So,
and it bothered him during that playoff run. He was consistently like, I remember the broadcast because we were all terrified. Whitlock was the bullpen, and he would just sit there and kind of, you saw him trying to loosen it, trying to work with it. I think we're talking about a pitcher that just has, at this point, a pretty lengthy injury history. And you get to the point where you say, all right, well, does that mean his body is probably not suited for 100 more innings in a single year? Like, people who are just like, because of the rest or whatever, it's not that simple. It's 100 more innings on you. If I told John Schreiber he had to throw, like, oh, do you want to throw 180 innings or are you going to be able to throw 70 innings? Like there's a penalty that comes with that. It's a different kind of tax on the body. And that's an evaluation test for the Red Sox. And they fucked this up. It's like, all right, your evaluation might have cost you, one of the best arms you've had in your organization in the last 10 years.
That's a fair assessment.
And that's where you really got to hold time. And then the pitching staff, Dave Bush, all this different stuff, Alex Cora even, and, high regard to blame or give credit to.
Yeah. Well, I mean, now you're in a position where it's like, are we going to see this guy again this year? Like, unfortunately, that's where you're at.
They seem positive, though. Like, now they're like, yeah, let's see what it looks like in a couple days. There's no MRI scheduled. I'm not getting too excited or too down either way. I think it's just like, when it's wait and see, it's wait and see.
But the thing is, we knew that the rotation was going to be musical chairs this year. Like, you had 9 guys for 5 spots. Worst case scenario, like, am I like, fuck, now the season's ruined? No, because you didn't know what you had in Garrett Whitlock, the starter, anyway. Getting Chris Martin back helps your bullpen. Sending down Caleb Ort, some people would argue that helps your bullpen. Getting James Paxton back, if he's going to be able to make starts for you, that helps your rotation. So it was always going to be musical chairs. Worst case scenario with Garrett Whitlock, I'm not sitting here saying, fuck, man, like, we really had a chance to surprise a lot of people this year. Now we don't. I don't feel that way. I've obviously made it very clear that I wanted him in the bullpen. I was willing to ride it out and see what he could be as a starter in this season. And I don't want to say now we know that he can't hack it. I don't think that that's fair. And I know that some people probably feel that way already. I don't. I would still like to see more if that's what they're kind of going for here. Like, I don't think the Red Sox have made the determination after how many starts? 3?
3
starts that, like, yeah, that's it. This guy can't hack it. I don't feel that way. I don't think the Red Sox feel that way. So if we see him again, I don't think it's going to be like, what was it, last year or the year before, where he got hurt and they were just like, oh, let's just put him right back in the bullpen. Like,
last year, the hip bark, they put him in the bullpen and stupidly let him keep pitching into the year when we all knew the team was, he had that awful stretch in Kansas City. We remember where he clearly wasn't healthy. And then he had the surgery, but then you go to the surgery and it's like, I know some people were talking about that. He had a full healthy spring. They let him build up as slow as they could possibly take it. So it's not like he was rushing to get ready for opening day. They were so careful with him. And this still happened. His elbow still barked. So, I don't know. It's not great. It's really not what you want, but the outlook going into the season, you didn't know you'd have this out of Cutter Crawford and Josh Winkowski, and now you do. Mm-hmm. So that changes your equation a little bit.
Yeah. I didn't get an answer from Joba, but I would like to hear his thoughts on that, because I think he could probably tell you better than anybody. I made my big league debut. I was an electric reliever. They put me in the rotation. It didn't work out. They put me back in the bullpen, and I wasn't what I was. I don't think there's a better set of circumstances that are more relatable to what we're seeing with Whitlock, unfortunately, than how the Yankees navigated Joba Chamberlain. And I want to know, the ins and outs of that. I want to know the psychology behind it. I want to know the thought process, how he sees the Whitlock situation, and whether or not the Red Sox handled it the right way. It's a first-hand account. So
I'd love to hear why they think this happened. What caused it? Is it a mechanics thing? Right? Is something giving and putting more stress on the elbow? It's not a workload thing. He's barely thrown this year. So it's not like this is a guy who's just arm hit a wall. So what is it?
Yeah. Maybe it's an in-between starts thing. Are we not?
Does his body just not respond at this point to this kind of breather? But then I'd argue, well, he was getting similar breathers when he was throwing 3-4 innings. And They had to give him, especially coming off Tommy John, they were super careful with him until the later part of the season.
Yep. All right. Jake, would you like to tell us a little bit about Blue Moon?
Some beers can say they're brewed for baseball, but only Blue Moon is brewed by baseball. Beer and baseball just go together, and no beer goes better than the one that was literally born in a ballpark. Blue Moon was created at Coors Field in Denver, Colorado. It's the natural choice for opening day and all season long. I'm going to try to get through this one pretty quick because we got Bruins Game 7 puck drop here in about 5 minutes. But you bet your ass that when the Bruins lost Game 6, I went straight to the store, I went to the coldest fridge in the liquor store, and I got myself a nice case of Blue Moons in preparation for tonight's Game 7. There's nothing like a Game 7, and there's no better beer to pair with a Game 7 than Blue Moon. Oh shit, I forgot to mention Tyler. Tyler, spare me and fuck off. With its refreshing flavor with Valencia orange peel for a subtle sweetness and hints of coriander, Blue Moon Belgian-style wheat ale is a one-of-a-kind beer that's made brighter. It's carefully crafted and full-flavored with refreshing notes and a smooth, creamy finish. Blue Moon was brewed by baseball to give you a dose of nostalgia and get you excited for the new season. Why strike out with the same old beer when you can get something that's one of a kind? Its bold flavor, bright explosion of color, and iconic orange slice ritual guarantee a one-of-a-kind beer experience perfect for spring weather. Best served with its signature orange garnish to showcase its beautiful, bright color. A beer this good only comes around once in a blue moon, but you can enjoy it all season long. Bring the ballpark to you with Blue Moon Belgian-style wheat ale. It's one of a kind every time. Check out shop.bluemoonbrewingcompany.com for beer and baseball merch, or visit get.bluemoonbeer.com/Jared to find Blue Moon delivery options. That's get.bluemoonbeer.com/Jared. Blue Moon, made brighter. Celebrate responsibly. Blue Moon Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado Ale.
Thank you, Jake. Appreciate that.
Spare me.
The last one was really good. Did you go back and listen to that one?
I don't know if I did. I can't remember.
Okay.
I don't think I did.
You would remember.
Mean. I'm happy I didn't because I'm in a high positive energy mood right now.
Good. You want to stay positive?
Please.
Did you see the statistic that I tweeted out about Christopher Allen Sale?
I did not. Can you tell me about it?
I would love to. So this, obviously, Chris Sale had the series finale against the Cleveland Guardians, which honestly, is this a weird take that I'm about to give you? I feel better about Chris Sale after his start against the Guardians than I did against his start with the 11 strikeouts against the Twins.
Now, I'll say, first off, the Twins lineup was in a horrendous place at that time. But I think we saw with the Guardians, what they did to Bello and Pivetta, those guys were not chasing a ton. They were working counts, like foul ball. And we saw some of that with Sale today when you have Jose Ramirez in your lineup. But it felt like there really wasn't a stretch in this game where Sale was, just trying to get by. It felt like he was kind of in control from start to finish overall, even when there was a little traffic in the 5th and 6th.
So answer my question. Is that a weird take?
No, it's a good take, especially because 2 out of 3 now you have good starts. And we know there was a change, right?
Yeah,
like
tangible. You could see it.
That and there was an article in the Globe, if you want to go read it, from Spear, where they were looking at sales mechanics. And Cora said, last episode we talked about tipping, right? Cora, who's known for being able to read those things, and that's not a cheating thing. When he was a player, he was the guy in the dugout to go to and ask. They couldn't find a single thing. Well, now they looked at it today, and they were, over the 5-day stretch, and they realized he was consistently throwing further in front of the rubber, where they felt like he was getting the extension, but he was kind of going about it the wrong way. And this was something he struggled with earlier in his career, where they felt like when he got to this way of, extension, I guess, his pitches didn't have the same movement. They became a little flatter. He kind of needed to be a little bit more back so you could get more of that break on the slider. Maybe the fastball is kind of rising a little bit more instead of being as straight. And what they did to him today, and I don't know if a lot of people saw who were watching, I listened to the game mostly on the radio. Before this start, he worked exclusively from the stretch. He reverted back to his former windup today, going across his body. And I think that might have been some of the deception that we didn't see in that last start, where, 2 swings and misses and no strikeouts? Today we're seeing, oh no, the swings and misses are there. It's 5 Ks. Clearly they were having problems picking up the ball.
How many swings and misses?
I don't have the number in front of me for today.
Do you have the breakdown on the pitches?
Let me see if I can pull it up.
It was like the 3rd inning and he hadn't even thrown a changeup yet.
And that was another fascinating part of today.
Yeah, he was fastball slider for like the first 3-4 innings, which I thought was going to end up biting him. Like I have been like this for years because it all goes back to Eddie Rodriguez, and he used to drive me fucking nuts when he would be fastball slider. I'm like, Eddie, you got to throw the fucking changeup, and he just wouldn't do it. But Chris Sale was essentially a 2-pitch pitcher. Today.
So looking at today, if you're just looking for that changeup usage, Jared, he threw it 9% of the time.
But you
60% four-seamer. The exact, no, he threw 9. Yeah, 9 out of 98. I guess that's 9%. That sounds about right.
Mm-hmm. How many fastballs? And he was throwing more fastballs. He was at like fucking 90% fastballs before he threw a changeup.
Yeah, he threw 59 fastballs on the day, total 60%.
Okay.
And touched 98 for those who have not been watching, which Alex Cora, after the postgame, smiling pretty heavy, saying, hey, it's a little early for that, but that's what's to come. I'll pull up his last start against the Orioles just to get a good feel for it.
Well, that was something that I was really paying attention to, is the pitch usage. You said you listened to it. You didn't see any of the game on Nesson?
I was posting highlights. I saw maybe the last 2 innings, but after he was out of the game.
So they threw a graphic up showing the different like foot positioning for Chris Sale. Like one start, his feet were kind of like in line with each other. Another one, like his front foot was out in front of his back foot. And then this one, he was more just kind of like open. It was interesting. But I like that because it shows that he's doing work. Like he's doing work in between starts. He's trying new things. He's figuring it out on the fly. I'm sure he's working on it in his bullpens. But you mentioned the 98. That was a big positive in Alex Cora's comment about being like, we weren't expecting to see 98 this soon. Like that's a good sign. So the statistic that I alluded to earlier was, and this kind of opens up a can of worms for a different conversation that we kind of had, but didn't go super deep into. Chris Sale, when he has not pitched against the Orioles, so he's faced the Orioles twice, and he's had 4 starts outside of his Orioles starts. 4 starts, a record of 2-1, 21 1/3 innings, 29 strikeouts, 7 walks, only 2 homers. It's a 4.22 ERA, a 3.02 FIP, Tyler. A 3.02 FIP, a 1.13 WHIP, 12.23 strikeouts per 9, and he's averaging 5 1/3 innings per start when he doesn't face the Orioles. And looking at his game log, Like that still includes a stinker against Tampa. He went 4 innings, 7 hits, 6 runs, 5 earned against Tampa. So to all the people that'll be like, oh, Carabas is back at it with the, if you take out the bad starts, then he's actually good. He was not good against Tampa. All those numbers includes the start against Tampa.
These aren't your words, Jared, but as Cora said, he thought he was better in Tampa than the results showed, but the defense let him down a little bit. So, I'm not trying to add fuel to the fire, say that start didn't matter, but that's how Cora telling you, like, I told Sale, like, don't beat yourself up as much over it because the defense wasn't a huge help for you in that game. And just looking here at the difference between last start and this start, so we said 60% of his pitches were 4-seamers against the Guardians. It was 46% of the time against the Orioles. The slider was 33%. Slider was 22% today. Changeup 9%. Changeup was 14% against the Orioles.
So he's going heavy fastballs, but he is I
think the big thing is it's like, is it a big arsenal change? No, I think it's the extension thing. Where the fastball was flat, he felt like his pitches didn't have the right movement. It felt like today was a step towards getting back to the movement he's been looking for. Like he was hitting the extension percentile number he needed to, but it was how, like, the big thing about Chris Sale over these years has been the deception his delivery gives you. It feels like today kind of going back to some of that stuff like they wanted him to. He was more athletic on the mound. Cora keeps saying that. That's what they were hoping for. He's trying to get back to the guy in his mechanics that he was before Tommy John. And Dave Bush had a quote in that story saying, listen, first off, he's older. Like, do you guys realize just over time in a 4-year period, any starting pitcher has to change how things move and how they go about the game? That's just part of it on its own. He doesn't have those reps. He hasn't pitched. He's been hurt. Like, he's been dealing with different injuries. There's so many things he's kind of overcoming right now to get back to being this guy. And he's supposed to do it on the biggest stage here. With with 90% of Red Sox fans holding a pitchfork saying, fucking pitch, you're the biggest bust we've ever seen. Do something. You're supposed to save this team. Like, it's a lot, man. And I think while we're not throwing a party, we're not telling you, oh, fuck yeah, Chris Sale's back. Just like we said last time, it's how consistently can you get into this? Well, cool. He's done it in 2 out of his last 3 starts. Not bad. It's better. I think a lot of people feared it would be even more rare than that. Can you do it 3 out of 4? Can you do 4 out of 5?
Yeah. But that's kind of like what I was talking about. This kind of opens up another conversation. Do you think now it's more likely that the Orioles have something on sale?
I think the Orioles have something on multiple guys with the Red Sox. Tanner Houck's swings and misses and strikeouts were down significantly against them last time out. I think that team, whether it's just seeing them a lot the last couple years, they clearly have some kind of, they're seeing something. I think they pick up the ball very well from what the Red Sox are doing. And maybe it's a crack in Dave Bush's pitching coach abilities where they found a give, they found a hint. But I just think they see the Red Sox pitchers super well. There's something there. It's just multiple guys who miss a ton of bats. They're not missing bats against you. Chris Sale, first start back, makes the adjustment and stuff happens. I just think it's somewhere in the middle.
It's
And
interesting.
if they are seeing something, maybe they're seeing it and the Red Sox aren't. Like,
well,
is that
certainly seems to be the case?
They're not going to tell us, we see something. Fuck no. Why would they tell you that? They're going to keep holding it in their pocket so the next time they see you, they can smack you up.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it's something the Red Sox haven't cracked, but I don't know. For Sale to have that kind of start that doesn't match anything in his career and then go to this again a couple days later, feels like it has to be somewhere in the middle of that conversation.
Yeah. Either way, it's just good to see Sale be Sale. And that's why I didn't want to get too excited after the one start against Minnesota. I was like, all right, yeah, no, this is nice to get back to that. It's good to see that again. But I braced myself for, knowing his next start was against the Orioles. And lo and behold, they fucked him up. So it's how do you come back from that? And his next start came today, Sunday, if you're listening to this tomorrow, on Monday. 6 1/3, only 3 hits allowed, 1 earned, no walks. That's probably my favorite thing about the whole fucking outing. Not that he went and got pitched into the 7th. only got hit 3 times. The 1 earned run, that's great. 5 strikeouts, pretty good. But the no walks for me, that's what did it. I was like, listen, Chris Sale, even when he was struggling, was still, the velocity was there. It's just he couldn't locate it. You go out there and you pitch into the 7th and you don't walk anyone.
And like the other part of it is like when he was in jams, like in the 5th and 6th innings, and there was an error from Devers that made life a little tough. He had a hit by pitch and then some bad BABIP luck. He didn't fold. He was able to figure it out. He stuck with it. And before you knew it, it was like, oh, wow, Chris Sale, he can dot it to get out of this. He had the confidence to trust his stuff. That plays into the profile. I think the positive is when sometimes these pitchers, they're gone for years, they come back and they don't have the stuff. Like it just doesn't exist. There's still the right ingredients there to make Chris Sale like a good pitcher. It's up to the coaching staff and him. He's putting in more work than, he's saying than he's ever have between starts. Can they make it? Can they make Chris Sale be this guy consistently? I think they can. And I think the fact that you have those ingredients in the first place is a major win. 2 out of the last 3 times you've baked the cake correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Don't burn it. You burnt it against the Orioles. That shit sucked. But they might have thrown some poison in there too. We don't know.
They could have. I'm just happy. I feel good. Jake, how do you feel right now?
I mean, honestly, like compared to how our expectations were to start the season, like we're coming out of April 1 game above 500. Like, look at the Yankees. I feel like we're in a pretty good spot.
We're in a great spot.
What we always say, if you're around 500 when Trevor Story gets back, anything can happen. Now it's like, well, if you're around 500 when Trevor Story and Adam Duvall comes back, it's like, oh, those are 2 things. Like, all right. Like, there's things on the other side. Now Mondesi will be back June 1st. What will he be? I don't know. Beats me. But it's something. And hey, now, shout out Christian Arroyo. Christian Arroyo is alive.
Hey.
Mr. Christian Arroyo guy himself, Jared Carabas.
I fucking love me some Christian Arroyo. But we didn't even talk about this moment yet. It's a big moment. We haven't even mentioned it.
The 2-0. And a base hit into left field. Here comes the run, and the Red Sox win it. They win it in 10. Verdugo strikes again. He drives in Christian Arroyo, and the Red Sox win it 8-7.
I mean, what a way to win a ball game. This is why the fun part of having a runner on second base in the late innings. 2 great closers.
Crazy. Alex Verdugo already has how many fucking walk-off hits with the Red Sox? 4?
5 now.
5 with the Red Sox. I thought that was for his whole career.
I think it's 7. Was that the tweet his brother put out?
Yes, Chris Verdugo, with Alex's walk-off hit last night, he is now tied with Derek Jeter with 7 career walk-off hits. 5 of those came with the Boston Red Sox, and he already has 2 this year.
Yep, 2 this year. We had the walk-off against the Twins as well. Can I give you another stat?
Please.
This is from Sox Notes. But in the last 3 years, Verdugo is batting .500 with a .625 OBP in the following situation. 9th inning or later, at Fenway, tied or trailing by 3 or less. That's a 12 for 24, 7 walks, and a hit by pitch. And over that 10, 3 of those have been walk-off singles. Like, that is a guy made for Boston in that moment. There's no one else I want at the plate. No disrespect to Rafael Devers. I love Devers. He's the best hitter on the team. But in a big moment, nope. In a big moment where the game is on the line, I saw what Alex Verdugo did in the 2021 postseason where he thrived as well. I want him there. I know he's going to get the bat on the ball. He's going to put it in play. And we've seen it. A lot of the time it's hits, but he's not going to strike out in those moments. He's going to give you something. And more often than not, it's been game-winning hits. Who else? Who else do you want in that spot? When Verdugo came up, I was like, oh, shit. I was like, he's going to do it. This guy fucking does it in those moments. And he's done it all season long. Even today where he had that bad error, like he gives you the big hit when the rain was coming down and we thought the game was about to end. homer later. Like, again and again, he rises to the occasion. He wants the big moments. For a guy who grew up loving David Ortiz, that clutch gene is in him. Some of that DNA, it's inside Alex Verdugo. Just a hint of it. I'm not saying he's David Ortiz or anything like that, but the clutch gene from him, it's intertwined just a little bit. I don't know where DNA is or what part of the body it's in, but there's something there. There's a similarity.
I see it. I felt it. By the way, I'm not going to name names or anything, but during this walk-off, I'm at the game with my dad. It's freezing, so we were sitting in section 10. Lasted probably like seven and a half innings. And then we go up to State Street, where I usually sit. There's this dude there with his girlfriend. He's a huge fan. He's listening right now. What's up, dude? Appreciate it. Meet you. Yeah, what's up? He's there with his girlfriend. They're both shit-faced. And he's being cool. She is just does not know what planet she's on. So she's like jumping all I'm trying to watch the game. She's like doing jumping jacks in my face and shit. And I'm like, all right, yeah. I just want to watch the game. And then she's like getting in my ear and like trying to like whisper in my ear. And she's like, he's just like a really big fan of yours. And like, just be nice and just talk to him. He's a big fan. And just,
I'm uncomfortable now.
I'm like, listen, I was like, thank you. I appreciate it. But it is like, bases loaded, bottom of the ninth. There's 2 outs and a tie. Like I'm just trying. Like I gotta watch the game.
It didn't seem like he needed the support either. It seemed like he was a cool guy that you were cool with.
He was very cool. He was very cool. But she's just like, I don't know what she wanted me to do. She wanted me to like fucking like make this kid's life. But like, you want me to like kiss him? I don't know what the hell you wanted me to do. So I'm trying to fucking watch the game. He's trying to watch the game too, obviously. And then like the Red Sox walk off and she's like jumping up and down. She no. It was when Arroyo tied it. So Arroyo tied it. She's jumping up and down. She fucking whacks me in the head. And I'm just like, what the fuck? And she's like, he hates me. Like he's annoyed by me. He hates me. And I'm like, you just fucking hit me in the head. Like
you striked me.
Yeah, I was just trying to watch the fucking game. So I was, as the Red Sox were coming back against the Guardians on Saturday when they walked it off, just know that I was in hell. I was in hell, surrounded by drunk people. And I'm just like, if you know me, even when I go to the games with my dad, like me and my dad don't even really fucking talk. We just sit there and we watch the game. Like we're focused on the game or whatever. But oh man, I tried to enjoy the walk off as much as I could, but just know that I was in hell. It was in hell. But Red Sox won. Alex Verdugo with another walk off. Homers on Sunday. He had like a bad throw though. There was like a play where he had like a shit throw. I was on the radio for that. I didn't see it.
He was kind of the reason that or at the time, basically after that first runner scored, he threw it in, and there was a chance that that second runner was going to be able to come in to tie the game if Sale didn't edge his way out of it. So it didn't go wrong, but that's what could have happened. Just an unnecessary throw.
Yeah.
But hey, air it out. He's been elite defensively in right field. So am I going to bitch at the guy? Fuck no. And then what does he do after? He hits a homer. And the thing I want to say about Verdugo, it's like he has 4 homers in 29 games. If you just multiply that times 5, let's call it 30. What? 30 times 5, that's 150. He's close to a 20 home run pace. A little better than that, actually, over 162. Like what Alice Cora told him, hey, you don't have to hunt for the power. You don't need to try and hit the ball over the bullpen. That's not you. We've now seen it twice this year. He's driven balls kind of near that foul pole or a little to the left of it. That's something we didn't see from Verdugo before. That's what Cora was telling him. Stick to your approach and those homers will come to you. Now we're seeing it. And we're talking about a guy who he could hit 20 jacks this year. If he hits 20 homers and hits 300 the way he is, payday. Give the contract at the All-Star break.
Payday's already coming. I feel like that's like a foregone conclusion at this point. After the year, I mean, it's a month. It is. It's 1 month. But it is something special that we're seeing from Alex Verdugo. What's his F-WAR up to?
I can grab that for you. Right now, he's up to an 851 OPS, and like he had been a little cold, coming into the last couple days. But if you look at what the F4 is for the season right now, it is still at 1 for the year, but that's not including today.
Okay. All right.
Can we mention the other guy in that deal?
Connor Wong, he had a Wong dong today.
Oh my God. He obliterated that baseball.
Yeah,
and this is
time.
after a 3-hit day yesterday. Had a big moment where he stole second, and that allowed another run to come in on a bad throw. And he's been one of the best defensive catchers in all of baseball so far this season.
What are you measuring that by?
What do you mean? Like Connor Wong?
No, the best defensive catcher thing. What do you use?
Anything. So the big one is pop time for me. Now, does that do it alone? No, but we're talking about a guy who's thrown, I believe, 6 out of 12 attempted base stealers so far this year.
Mm-hmm.
And if we pull up the Baseball Savant page right here and we can kind of see what he's cooking with. I put out a tweet of his throws on Twitter the other day, and I believe the only catcher with a better pop time right now is JT Realmuto going to second base.
He's making a lot of money.
And if we're talking Connor Wong, who's raised his, hitting stats across the board now, I think he's hitting 240 for the year. It won't take much. And he's already gotten more starts than Reese this year. Part of that's because of their matchups. But Connor Wong hit 15 homers in 81 games at AAA last year. If he can get anywhere near 15 to 20 home runs with elite defense, is that not your catcher moving forward?
Should be.
And then you're talking about a guy in Verdugo.
On the other hand, too, like there's probably people listening to this being like, isn't Reese McGuire hitting like 375?
Yes, but he's had a hard time behind the plate and he doesn't seem fully healthy. That Cora, hinted at ever since his hand got hit, isn't feeling super comfortable at the plate right now. Yeah. But he brings something to the team that's different. It's speed on the base pass, which we're seeing with Duran. It can have an impact. It did on us, Saturday.
Wong is like not Wong. Reese McGuire is like the fucking BABIP king. Like if you watch highlights of Reese McGuire at the plate, he just fucking throws the bat out there and just like dumps balls into shallow left field. Like kind of like what Duran did today with the ground rule double. He's had a couple of those. Like Duran, like what are the updated stats on Jaren Duran?
Let me pull those up. But just for reference on Wong real quick, when I tweeted this out on the 27th, he was tied for the MLB lead amongst catchers in defensive runs saved at 5.
Pretty good.
So like that's where he's at. And what do you want on Jaren Duran?
Jaren Duran's hitting 396 with a 1061 OPS.
And he didn't have a great day today overall. Had a nice little double that snuck in. But he wasn't
a great catch.
And that's the thing that's kind of sticking out to me. Couple really nice plays in center field the last week or so for him, where he's getting to balls that I don't think a lot of people thought he would get to.
No, Jaren Duran's a guy. You gonna say it?
Oh, yeah. You know me. You can read my article on it. Is Jaren Duran a guy at 985thesportshub.com?
Is that the headline?
Yeah, I wrote it based off of our conversation. That was kind of the sourcing for a lot of it.
That's great. I like that.
I had done the research for the podcast, so I was like, why not turn it into something? But
where is that? Where can people find that? 985thesportshub.com?
985thesportshub.com. Look up Tyler Milliken. It's a great piece, in my opinion.
I bet it is a great piece.
Thank you. I think I'm an okay writer. I'm working on it.
Yeah, I'm going to read that.
Please send feedback. But yeah, and even this series, we saw the doubles in that first game. It was sad you couldn't take advantage of it. But what more do you want? He's top 5 in doubles in baseball, and he's played in 13 games. Like, how ridiculous is that as a stat on its own?
Yeah, there were people in the Section 10 Reddit asking what it takes to qualify. It is 3.1 plate appearances per the number of games that your team has played. So he's got like 40 and change plate appearances, and he's going to need like 80 plus at this point. So,
and that's the shitty thing. We don't get to see all of the Baseball Savant red circles until he hits that qualifier.
That's only for because percentile.
I don't know if it's exactly qualifying, but he needs to hit a certain limit before he is, you're able to see the whole thing if you look up another player. So right now, if you go on, all you see is max exit velo and sprint speed, which he's 84th percentile max exit velo, 87th percentile sprint speed. And I think that's a little bit, those numbers get jaded by, you're walking into second. We see how fast he is.
It's fast kid alive.
Looked like the Guardians were caught off guard a little bit today when he was coming from second base on that Verdugo blooper.
That's one of the Red Sox biggest strengths. They've got guys that are fast as fuck.
Didn't have that when the year started.
Do we have any data that can back up their ability to go first, third better than most teams? Is there data for that?
I don't think so. Nothing.
There's got to be. We need to get someone on that. Jake, get a fucking nerd on that. Thank you.
A better nerd than me, please.
Yeah, we need a big time first and third nerd. I need a nerd that specializes in first and third ability.
They're out there.
Mm-hmm. We'll get them. I mean, I feel like this isn't a huge debate for Clark's Ketchup Series MVP. Do you think it will be?
No, I don't. I think we know where we're going. I felt like the Twitter people knew. I was getting a lot of it before even the homer he hit later in this one today.
I saw a lot of support for Christian Arroyo.
He deserved, man, I'm telling you, in 5 hits over the last 2 days for him. Obviously, his hit gets kind of thrown under the rug yesterday, but really sparked that 10th.
2-run double today.
You saw that catch? He made it shortstop.
Short.
And he's doing all this with a bad hamstring.
It is actually bad.
It looks rough. Like, honestly, watching him, he looks uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
But he talked about it before the year. It's learning to, kind of say what can you play through and what can't you play through. He's doing it, and it means even more because Kike's hurt right now. Bad ankle.
Should we call Coley?
Please. Wait.
What?
Is it wrong to call him before we play the song, or do we call him and then play the song?
I think he's got to hear the song.
Good take.
Honestly, I even considered not playing the song because there's some people that like it and there's some people that don't like it. And
we gotta play it.
I was gonna not play it so that the people that like it can bully the people that don't like it because we didn't play it.
That's what we should do.
I'm gonna call Coley right now.
The positivity on the subreddit heavily outweighed the negative.
Yeah.
Coley?
Uh-huh.
I did something different this week.
What's that?
I didn't read the statistics and then call you. I called you before I read the statistics, and I called you before I played the song.
Oh, that's nice.
Put it on speakerphone so your kids can hear it.
Start them young.
Ketchup Series MVP. Series MVP.
The Clark's Ketchup Series MVP is brought to you by Clark's Ketchup. Drizzle that ketchup. This was a 2-1 series victory for the Boston Red Sox over the Cleveland Guardians. Our own Coley Mick is here. Tyler's here. Jake's here. And I'm going to read you some numbers right here. I'm only. Do you think, Coley, that it should be a qualifier that you have to play in all 3 games, and if you're a position player, you can still be eligible if you're a starting pitcher or a reliever, but for a position player, you have to play in all 3 games?
No, I mean, I think if you sweep, yeah. Even then, no.
Minimum 2. All right. Okay. All right. So then I set the qualifier to 2 games. Who led the Boston Red Sox in batting average this series? It was Christian Arroyo. He hit 714. He hit 714 in 7 at-bats. He played 2 games. Had a 1635 OPS. Connor Wong hit 625 with a 1625 OPS. Then you have Jaren Duran. These are the guys that played 3 games. These are the guys that actually should matter the most. Jaren Duran hit 385. That leads the Red Sox if you don't count Arroyo and Wong, who played 2 games. Hit 385 with a 1077 OPS. Then you have Alex Verdugo, who hit 286 with a 905 OPS. Those are going to be your candidates for Clark's Ketchup Series MVP. Then you go down to hits. Who led the Red Sox in hits this series? Guess who? Christian Arroyo led the Red Sox with 5 hits. Connor Wong also had 5 hits. Jaren Duran had 5 hits, so there's virtually no separation there. Then you go to extra base hits. Jaren Duran had 4. Emmanuel Valdez had 3. Have not mentioned him yet. Alex Verdugo had 2. Masataka Yoshida had 2. Total bases? That's Jaren Duran, 9. Then you have Alex Verdugo with 8, who ties Connor Wong with 8. Then you get down to Christian Arroyo, 6. Runs batted in. I know people don't love this statistic, but Alex Verdugo drove in 5 runs this series. Christian Arroyo drove in 4. Rafael Devers drove in 3. Home runs, not a ton of home runs in this series, but you did get one from Devers, you got one from Verdugo, and you got one from Connor Wong. Those are the numbers. Those are the numbers. I am going to preemptively ask our manager, Alex Cora, who the MVP is, but I'm going to say MVP candidates this series are Arroyo, Verdugo.
Why is Sale not a candidate?
Sale?
We heavily considered it last time.
They only won 2 games. If they won 3, I wouldn't even bring it up. But we wouldn't even be having this conversation unless they won today.
That's fair.
I also have to vote and go. I'm going Verdugo.
All right. Coley has voted Verdugo, and he's gone.
He seemed very
right.
stressed.
Yeah, he's dad life. Arroyo, Verdugo, Duran, Sale. Are there any other candidates that I'm missing because I'm an idiot?
No. I'm trying, like, bullpen wise, like Schreiber had one good day, one bad day. Would you consider
this is
Bernardino?
Too low. Shut the fuck up.
I'm sorry.
You try to push the weirdest narratives.
I'm just saying, like, I didn't think he was that bad in the 10th inning, and today he closed it out.
It's going to be between, I mean, I don't think did Wong throw out any base stealers?
Yeah, he threw out one.
Well, I'm going to narrow it down to Arroyo, Verdugo, Duran, Sale. Is that fair?
I feel for Wong because I feel like he did more in the series than Duran overall. Duran's damage came in a game that didn't really count, or it didn't matter because they lost. Wong had I think I pushed Duran out for this one. Wong, big hits yesterday and today in the win.
All right, let's see what our manager says. The call is in. The call is in for the Cora vote. So
are you having doubts?
I'm not having doubts.
You're just going through the exercise.
Just going through the exercise. I feel like, because you're determining who should win. You're also determining ketchup packets.
I'll step out and say I think over time, having the conversation about Chris Sale like we did last time, I don't feel comfortable picking him since he did not pitch, obviously, in the other game. It was big. I think he led the way for the series win, but I can't put it over, guys who had big hits yesterday and today. Art and one in Verdugo who had legit the game-winning hit yesterday, and you could argue the game-winning hit today.
How do you have the game-winning hit today?
What was the final score?
7-1.
Yeah. Verdugo's blooper made it 2-0 later, yeah. But that second run was the game-winning run.
All right, I see what you're saying. My vote is Alex Verdugo.
I'm going to join you as well on that. I'll put my hand up just simply for the fact, he had the game-winning hit the day before. Today, the big hit when the rain's coming down, a homer later. Did he hit in every single game? No, he didn't have a hit in that first game, but he did have an RBI. So he contributed to a run scoring in all 3 games. Wong, Arroyo didn't play in all 3 games.
It's an interesting conversation happening with our manager right now.
Did he go another way? Oh no.
I think he's considering an off the board option. I don't know that's his official
Bernardino.
vote. He went off the board but he just said their last name with a question mark to be like, oh, this isn't a fucking candidate. But I don't know if he's going to go with that with his vote.
Can you reveal it?
There's Connor Wong.
All right. I had Wong ahead of Duran. I think we added him to the board. He's part of the plate.
That's I only put Arroyo, Verdugo, Duran, and Sale. I said these are the MVP candidates, but I don't know if he's going to vote Wong right now. He could.
I have Verdugo 1, Wong slightly ahead of Arroyo, I think.
I mean, Arroyo tied it.
That is true.
You could put Sale on the mound in the series finale, being like, hey, if we don't win today, we're going to get fucking swept.
Not bad. It's a good take.
Yeah. And he had a 2-run double to make it a blowout. Because now it's like you have a 5-1 game. Arroyo makes it 7-1. But 5-1, it's like, all right, yeah. No, like you use different bullpen arms in that scenario.
And both of them had nice defensive moments as well. Wong throws out a guy. Arroyo steals a hit today.
Mm-hmm.
Then does Arroyo get extra points because he's playing hurt?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
But that Wong homer through the rain today was something beautiful.
It was. Did you officially vote, Tyler?
Yeah, I'm going to stick with Verdugo, and I'll give a bunch of packets to Arroyo, Wong, Sale. I'll throw a packet to Bello. They just needed a solid start, and he delivered while battling, obviously, some issues on the mound.
Mm-hmm.
And Josh Winkowski. Josh Winkowski gave you a nice inning.
We need to have some sort of fucking integrity here. You can't just be throwing packets around like crazy.
A 9-pitch scoreless 8th inning is pretty good.
Okay, he threw 9 pitches and he gets a catch-up packet. You're going to put him in the same class as Connor Wong if he doesn't win this fucking thing?
I'm just giving him. I'm not saying it's the same size packet.
You can't do that. You can't just be throwing around packets like that. Jake, who you got?
I mean, walk-offs for me are just such big catch-up points. Like, I just see a walk-off single and I just picture catch-up everywhere. And like Verdugo, second walk-off of the year, he's on pace for 12 walk-offs this year. So I'm going Doogie.
I think this might be reverse psychology from Alex Cora.
What do you mean?
Continuing to want to light a fire under Verdugo's ass. Saying, hey, I see it. Respect. But hey, not this one. He gave him one earlier, right?
Yeah, he voted for Verdugo when he lost.
Maybe he's trying to give something to Wong. Maybe he's trying to make the Mookie Betts trade look good. Or
Is
better.
that what happened? That he voted for Doogie?
I thought, right?
Yeah.
That was the one me and you were arguing over. I think you picked someone outside of Verdugo.
It was the Minnesota series.
Yeah.
I think he won that one.
Yeah, and who did you had picked someone differently. I think you had picked someone, I had picked it, and then Cora.
I think I said Sale. That was the Sale.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what that was.
Yeah. But he voted for Verdugo, and I think he was the swing vote.
No, he was.
I mean, if he doesn't answer, I'm going to put his vote in as Connor Wong.
I think Wong definitely deserves love. He kind of did it all this series.
Well, either way, I mean, the 4 of us went Alex Verdugo. So Alex Verdugo, your Clark's Ketchup Series MVP. Is this his second already this year?
Second this year.
Second this year. Alex Verdugo, Clark's Ketchup Series MVP for the series victory against the Cleveland Guardians. We'll see, because maybe we'll count like vote points at the end of the year. Because I mean, this vote still could count at the end of the year of like who the Clark's Ketchup Season MVP is.
I think so far, if we're being honest, Verdugo is that guy. So I think it feels right that he has the most so far.
Jake, are we keeping track of everyone's votes?
Well, now we're going to put out a graphic with everyone, so it'll be pretty easy to keep track.
Okay.
Does Devers have 2 so far?
I think he only has 1.
Duvall has 1.
Mm-hmm. We'll have to get the updated, because it is being tracked. It is being tracked. But now we're going to have to keep track of who the Clark's Ketchup Season MVP is. because that person gets a bucket of ketchup.
I don't even know how we're going to be able to present that. Do we need to have a trophy? I feel like we need to hand it to that player.
Yeah, I will. It's a literal bucket of ketchup. Like think about like the white like the work bucket that I'm talking about.
Like a chum bucket, like from SpongeBob.
Mm-hmm. It's just full of ketchup.
Fresh ketchup?
At the time.
Or are we just like adding to this bucket as we hand out packets and hand out ketchup every single week?
No, it's just a bucket of fresh ketchup. That thing must be so heavy.
Sounds like a good time though.
What would you do with a big ass bucket of ketchup, Tyler?
Things I can't say on this podcast.
Actually, you can.
I'm a very big ketchup guy. I will eat spoonfuls of ketchup.
For real?
Yeah, I'd dive into that thing. I'd be smooth with it too.
Whoever wins the Clark's Ketchup Season MVP, I just need a picture of them just taking a big old scoop of ketchup and eating it with Tyler.
But can't you picture Verdugo with like that smile on his face? Like, oh my God. Get a little ketchup on the beard. I can get a little on mine.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be a moment.
Yeah, that's a bar.
You would know.
So, yeah, I love ketchup. I put ketchup on everything. Let's fucking get the Stop and Shop look ahead so that we can get the fuck out of here because the Bruins game's about to start, and I know that Jake and Tyler are probably like dying inside, not being able to.
Oh, I'm not really super anxious, but bad news. They're losing 1-0 after the first period.
It's already in what?
I'll be honest.
7:30.
Me and you are so out of the loop. I asked Jake when the pod started. I was like, "The Bruins start at 7 tonight or 6:30?" And he was like, "Nah, 6:30."
I thought they started at 7:30. Holy shit, they're already losing.
Yep.
Jake, are you all right?
I'm not doing great.
Yeah, I didn't think you would be.
Sorry.
That's brutal. All right. Baseball season's rolling. This is the best time of the year, and there are games on all day, every day. When I'm watching all the games and recording all these podcasts every week, it can be tough to get a handle on it all. And thanks to the Xfinity 10G network, I can stay on top of everything. With Xfinity 10G, you can power an entire house full of devices with ultra-low lag, so you and everyone you know can stream every single game at the same time and never miss a pitch. And if you're on the go, Xfinity has your back with millions of Wi-Fi hotspots. Introducing the next generation 10G network only from Xfinity. The future starts now. Learn more at xfinity.com/10G.
Jared, can I tell you something?
Please.
Right now, the Red Sox are tied for the third wild card. 3-way tie or 4-way. The Red Sox are crafty.
Wow. By the way, Alex Cora's official vote is Connor Wong.
Respect. I like it. It's a good pick.
Connor Wong.
I'm telling you, the Red Sox might have their starting catcher of the future. It may take a little time and maybe some ups and downs, but in a league where the catching position is very shallow, I think Wong could be fine back there. Good defensively, offers pop with the bat and some speed.
Okay. That's your manager's pick.
Hell of a receiver as well.
Stop and Shop look ahead, brought to you by Stop and Shop. Head on down to Stop and Shop and use the promo code Section 10. You get 10 cents off each tangerine when you buy up to 5 pounds of tangerines only at Stop and Shop. It's a 4-game series against the Toronto Blue Jays. I don't feel great about this one. Just going to say that up front. You're going to get Jose Barrios versus Corey Kluber in the opener. What is it? Yusei Kikuchi? How do you say this? Yusei Kikuchi versus Tanner Houck. The Jays have not named a starter for the last 2 games, but you're getting Nick Pivetta, my guy, Nick Pivetta, in Game 3 on Wednesday, and then the series finale, which is a random 6-10. Like, what the fuck does that do? Either do 1:35 or do 7. Like, what the fuck is a 6:10 p.m. start going to do?
6:10.
6:10.
Okay.
Yeah. In the series finale, and that's Brian Bello. Jose Barrios. This guy sucked to start the season. First
Sucked
start
last year.
Yeah, first start was against the Kansas City Royals. Gave up 8 earned runs. Followed that up with 4 earned runs in 4 innings against the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim of California. And over his last 3 starts, though, 3 starts, 19 innings, 18 strikeouts, no homers allowed, a 1.42 ERA, a 1.94 FIP. Opponents hitting 167 with a 385 OPS. So he has been nails over his last 3 starts. In his most recent start against the Chicago White Sox, who, by the way, they suck. I know that they had a big comeback victory today, and that's great. It's the first time that they've won a game in like 2 weeks, literally. But he went 7 innings, 4 hits, shutout, 1 walk, 9 strikeouts. Yusei Kikuchi, he's kind of like, he's gotten a little lucky this year, Tyler. He's got an even 3 ERA in 5 starts, but the FIP is 484. What were you going to say about Kikuchi?
I've seen so much hype this year because he has cut the walk rate down considerably. It was 5.2 per 9 last year. It's down to 2 per 9 right now. But he likes to give up homers.
He does.
Hey, at Fenway Park, let's cook. You start getting homers early, then you might actually have something. He's due for a little regression.
Kikuchi has made 5 starts this year. He's given a home run and he's given up a home run in all of them, except for his most recent start, which was against the White Sox, of all teams to not give up a home run. Gave up 3 bombs to the Angels, and his best start of the season came against the Tampa Bay Rays. This was in the middle of their fucking the Blue Jays were the first team to like beat them, but they did that on the back of a 6-inning, 4-hit, 1 earned run, 9 strikeout performance with just 1 walk back on April 15th. So he's had 1 blow-up start. That was the 3-homer game against the Angels. He gave up 6 earned and 4 1/3. But since that blow-up start, he's made 3 starts, 17 2/3 innings, 20 strikeouts, only allowed 2 earned runs. That is a 1.02 ERA over his last 3 starts. Those starts have come against the lineups of the Tampa Bay Rays, New York Yankees, and Chicago White Sox. I'd say that's only impressive against the Rays. Fair or unfair? That's fair. Opponents hitting 194 with a 533 OPS in those 3 starts. But the FIP, 325. So he's had a little bit of luck. But it's hard to knock the results because Kikuchi, outside of that 1 blow-up start against the Angels, has pitched very well. So I don't know, like, I don't even know, like, because they haven't named the starters, but I don't know who else we would have gotten in this series.
The reality is you should probably be nervous because we know what the other starters in the rotation are.
Pretty good.
I won't lie. I would love to see Alek Manoah in Toronto or against Verdugo at Fenway Park. You talk about a guy who's really hitting his stride in Verdugo. Manoah being Alek Manoah. Oh, that's must-watch baseball.
Mm-hmm. I forgot about that.
It's just it was tough because like the story got some heat and then it died off super quickly just because they weren't playing each other. Oh, just for reference, Gausman pitched yesterday.
Okay, so we don't get Gausman. That's great because he owns the fucking Red Sox.
Yep.
So we'll get Manoah. And who the fuck else would we have gotten?
We got, going down the list here. Who are we missing? Chris Bassett. He got rocked today, didn't he?
Bassett pitched today. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to see Manoah then.
Definitely seeing Manoah.
There you go.
And then we'll also see Gausman.
Ew. That's depressing.
Right?
Yeah, but if he pitched yesterday, that's the same as Bello pitching yesterday.
Well, they don't have anyone. Who the fuck else would they have? It has to be Gausman. It has to be Gausman on Thursday. It's a 4-game set, so he'd have to be Thursday.
Oh, yeah. Math. You're right.
Yeah. So it's Manoah Gausman. Oh, great. Well, I mean, it's been I don't even want to call it a mixed bag. I mean, Manoah's been bad except for when he pitched against the Yankees because he pitched with the hatred of Garrett Cole on his heart. Which is amazing.
Does he bring that same hatred for Verdugo?
Probably. Could be a long day.
Beat it to me.
Okay, we'll see.
Hey,
maybe
can't
some
cuss out Bobby Delwick anymore. He's not on this team.
and
Try doing
Franchi was the first guy that he fucking
Yeah.
messed up.
Try doing that to this team. I feel like the response will be a little bit different.
Yeah, he bitched out two of the nicest guys.
Cornball.
Hey, I like Manoah.
I like the way he pitches. I don't like when he does shit like that. I'm fine showing energy, but Verdugo put it perfectly. Don't show up the guys, who you're striking out. Celebrate with your team. Flex at your team, do all that. You don't got to show up two guys, especially Bobby Delwick and Franchi Cordero. Like two sweethearts of dudes. Like, spare me on that.
Spare me. Prediction time. Jake, I'm gonna let you go first because I know you're down right now. And is it still 1-0?
Yeah, it's the first intermission.
Okay, so all right, cool. All right, prediction time, Jake. What makes you feel good right now?
Yeah. Look, I know we all like to have fun on here, and I pick sweeps all the time, and everyone laughs. But I think it's time to be a little realistic. And realistically, these guys are due for a sweep. I got the Sox taking all 4.
That's fucking right, Jake. That's fucking right. Did I hit the wrong button?
Jesus.
That's my bad. That's fucking right, Jake. It's a 4-game sweep for the Boston Red Sox against the Toronto Blue Jays. And listen, I would love nothing more than for that to happen. And you can't win with these picks because either you're too negative or you're too repetitive. Like if you pick 2 out of 3 every single time because you don't want to pick a sweep because Jake picks a sweep, then it's like, all right, well, now I'll go 2 out of 3. It's like, oh, you pick 2 out of 3 every time. You're too afraid to pick a series loss. I said the Guardians were going to take 1 out of 3. Or the Red Sox were going to take 1 out of 3 from the Guardians. They took 2 out of 3. If I went with my gut, which was 2 out of 3, it would have been right.
Hey, someone once told me, what's that song you played last time?
Listen to your heart.
Yeah, you need to start doing that.
I'm going to listen to my heart in this
Man
one.
up.
Yeah.
Do you want my prediction?
Yeah, I already know what it is. You're going to say split because you don't have the balls to say that the Red Sox are going to win this series.
You're right. I am going split. You know me too well.
Yeah.
I think while some things are working, I am worried about Kenley not having him the first game. I think against the Blue Jays, any games you are going to pull out are going to be super tight and kind of back and forth. At least knowing you're not going to have him for at least one day, I wouldn't be surprised if it bleeds into another. Could be a problem. We'll see where the bullpen is at that point. Chris Martin's kind of getting back into it and trying to get comfortable. And who knows with Kike? They're going to give him another day, it seems like. So that's part of this equation as well. I'm going to take a split. I think they hold their own. They show the classic 2023 Red Sox fight, but I don't think they're winning this one.
I would be happy to get out of here with a split.
You going lower than me?
I'm considering it.
Don't put us back under 500, Jared.
I'm considering it, but I'm not going to go there. May's a new month. Okay. I know it's a game over 500 for the month of April, but you're essentially a 500 team, right? Red Sox are going to have a convincingly winning record in the month of May.
Against that gauntlet?
And it starts by taking 3 out of 4 against the Blue Jays in this series.
Whoa.
Mm-hmm.
Who's leading the way?
Devers
gonna get
Yoshida.
scorching hot.
Yoshida.
Whoa.
Mm-hmm.
10-game hitting streak, Masataka Yoshida.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All I know of, I've seen him falling in love with that monster the last couple days. Seen a lot of baseballs bounce off that thing.
Yep. He'll go thrown out second sometimes, but it doesn't mean he didn't hit the ball off the wall.
Happens once and you learn. Happens to the best of us.
Quan played a great left field with the monster.
And he has Tito in the dugout who's going to give you everything you want. Nice seeing him at Fenway, by the way, this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
It was a lot of fun.
Mills.
I always love seeing him.
Pap. Elsie.
It's really good.
What was the other thing that I wanted to add about this series?
Blue Jays?
Yeah.
Anything on the pitching side?
No, I mean, I like the guys that we have lined up for this series.
You think Pivetta does well against the Blue Jays?
No. I think he goes 5 and gives up fucking 5 and the Red Sox win the game.
ERA is going to be like a 6 at that point.
Who gives a fuck if the Red Sox win?
This team scores runs.
Yeah, we score runs, dude. I like our guys. I like my team. I like my club. Let's hope that Manoah's struggles continue. Let's hope that Kikuchi getting lucky means that he gets unlucky in Boston. I think Gosman's probably going to be the game that you lose. He's going to go like fucking 8 1/3. He just always does.
Just got to eat that one.
Yeah, he's fucking Roy Halladay. It's every time it's just like, yep, he'll be on the mound in the 8th, guaranteed. It's just whether or not he's going to throw a complete game or not. 8 innings in the bag. And then Barrios, I'm not sold. Like, congrats on beating up on the White Sox. They fucking suck.
The FIP's really good.
Yeah.
Sub 3.
Good for him. I'm happy for him. I got 3 out of 4.
I think we have a nice Christian Arroyo series.
That'd be nice.
When he seems to get hot, it carries a little bit. I think him and Connor Wong could have a couple nice games. And I need Devers to give me a little more.
I agree. He's still hitting, like, the batting average is taking a fucking plummet, but he's still hitting the ball really hard.
10 homers. Like, the power is there. He's hit big homers when you needed it. Just give me a little more consistency. That's all I'm asking for.
Yeah. He's hitting the ball on the ground a lot. And those can be hits with the shift being banned. But he has hit a lot of balls hard that are just like right at the second baseman. So we'll see. All right. That was that. We always fucking hit 2 hours.
It's impressive.
Yeah.
I felt like last year we didn't that much.
No. But I feel like these podcasts, like the conversations, I mean, the Red Sox sucked last year. They just sucked. So there wasn't much to talk about for the games because who gives a fuck about the wins and losses stuff? It was all the in-between stuff. Now this year we're talking about the games, but we're also talking about the in-between stuff as well. So, yeah, I hope people like the meteor pods. Stop fighting with each other on the Reddit. I'll be in there checking out what you guys are talking about. I'll jump in the conversation when prompted, but I'll let you guys just talk amongst yourselves.
I'm going to join the conversation.
You are going to join the conversation. Do you have an account or no?
So I have like a burner, I guess, that I use that just so I can see. But last year I didn't feel, I guess, firmly enough in the game to feel like I could be in there and, taking part. This year, I feel like it's time.
Yeah, it's time. Yeah, take a second to make a Tyler Milliken Reddit account, and then you can jump in there.
Just drop the spare me's below.
Yeah, spare me's over right now. Big over. Jake's takes.
Just need a goal.
Just need a goal right now. Just need a goal. I feel bad. All right, Jake, go watch the fucking game. We're out of here. Tyler, any final thoughts?
Please, Bruins win. I've never seen Jake so down in my life.
Yeah, go Bruins, please. Go Bruins, please win. Go Bruins. All right, we'll see you on Thursday.
Buenas noches, amigos.